Hey, how you doing? This is SEIJIHITO here to bring you the news, and here we are back at it again. Right, you can see by the title, people got a problem with F.B.A. and more. So the videos are a little bit, mixed up due to the fact of the order that I, ended up getting the videos. But it's going to pretty much wrap right around on top of going into other topics. Because again, FBA, we're going to be dealing with some things with ICE, immigration, stuff of that nature. Right. So again, much love, respect, and appreciation to those who are going to come in a little bit later after I give this speech that I normally do. Shout out to M Hampton and Chris T the third. What is up? What is up? What is up? So let's get directly into this video and take a listen.
F.B.A, the Foundational Black American.
Shout
These
out to
ain't
Brandon
involved
World.
in nothing outside. They ain't doing outside. They on the internet looking for that look just like them to degrade and call tethers all day. I don't see these doing no work against none of these Klansmen, nothing. All I see is them calling out other black people all day. That's divisive as questioning where you from, where was you born. Show you your freedom papers? Damn, massa. I gotta show you the freedom papers. Who is these this nag? Bunch of Stevens over there trying to check blood. Want to check papers? Sound like ICE. Another 3-letter organization. Healing and perspective, or hate speech and fear mongering. But a lot of us only know how to be in community with abusers, so we start talking about healing.
So let me just shout out to D Love. Shout out to Brandon World for the $2 dono. Said the man has come back to town, and also shout out to Hack. Much love, respect, and appreciation. So some of you guys, we're going to continue the video, but I had to cut it right there because the main rhetoric that I like to point out when it deals with folks always talking about the terminology FBA or Foundational Black Americans is that every single time, I kid you not, when you listen to these folks, they'll either say one or two things: either that Black Americans are xenophobic, or that it's hate speech or xenophobic, every single time. But the craziest part is when you got folks out here that have been for the longest time speaking negatively about Black Americans, you don't have people like this wanting to pull up to the scene and rah and go on this huge rant on their platform, or however it is that they decide to do it. They tend to stay mum. They don't magically hear these things. They only hear these things when Black Americans want to make a response and they want to take a direct stance. Also to note that the terminology FBA has pretty much almost been around for close to about 10 years, just about. When you look it up, they'll tell you about like the 2010s, right? It's almost pretty much close. And the problem that I have with this is that none of these folks, when the terminology FBA or Foundational Black Americans was coined, was used, none of these folks was really saying that. They wasn't rah. They wasn't getting online like this. They didn't even care. They just overlooked it. They were like, "What? FBA? That's a news. I don't care about that. Let me just go and focus on what it is that I focus on." Right. So all of these years that FBA has been, in circulation, there's been whispers and words and all these other types of things. Nobody had nothing to say. But now all of a sudden, when it gets mainstream media traction, you got the likes of Tucker Carlson, you got mainstream media, you got other people using the term. This is now when people want to start rah and making all of these videos and all of these rants, and people want to say that, oh, FBA is xenophobic and that. Why didn't y'all say this from the beginning? Where was y'all at in the very beginning to sit up there and try? Like, this is what I be saying. If people were consistent as they are right now, bringing out these videos and talking about FBA this and FBA, if y'all was like that from day one when this first came out, I'm like, all right, at least y'all consistent on something. Y'all can't even be consistent. I can't even take y'all serious because y'all knew about the term. Y'all knew what it was about, which is specifically lineage based. And because it's a finite thing and you can't fake it, you can't just, I'm about to cosplay as a Black American. I'm about to dress up. I'm about to sit up there and use the slang. I'm about to take because you can't cosplay and make up your way into a lineage based thing. This is where everybody got a problem, because there's an actual fine line that can be drawn. You can actually see what it is. It's not something that's imaginary. It's not a theory. It's something that is real, something that is within the Black Americans that are here in these United States. Not the plants, not the transplants, not the fakes, not the cosplayers, not the imitators, but the original Black Americans. But let's continue.
Start talking about organization. We start talking about inclusion. We start talking about mass communal practices. You've never seen that. That's not your experience. That's not where you feel comfortable. Calling names, checking verification. What hood is this? What hood is that? Now, if we was gangbanging and killing each other, it would be a problem. But it's not a problem when ask where you from, and it's on the internet, and it's on the basis of a culture that we created out of oppression. You don't want to let other participate in your culture because they come over here and degrade him, and you know the business of colonization better than anybody. He's brainwashed.
No. See, this is the problem. Now what's true about the circumstances is that due to the history, the very unique history of Black Americans, we did create a culture, and from that culture came beauty. It's like when people talk about a rose growing from concrete. It's pretty much that, right? You got the hardest land directly out here. There is no beauty there. It's impossible for anything to grow and to live. But somehow, some way, Black Americans found a way. No matter what type of segregation, no matter what type of laws, rules, or regulation, no matter if the military, the police, the government was directly against us, the assassinations that were taking place, the poisoning that was happening to our blood and to our water still to this day, and many other things. No matter what was taking place, we were still able to flourish, and we are still here. Nobody else can say that. Nobody else can say that they have survived and lived through what Black Americans have historically gone through, and they still exist and they are still here. Nobody can say that. This is why everything is so unique to us when it deals with this conversation. This is another reason why a lot of people have these problems, because they can't just decide, be like, oh, well, we went through this over here, so realistically, no, it's not the same. It's not the same at all. We got history, we got paperwork to show what it is that we went through. None of these other folks, you don't have nothing out here where you got Jamaicans, Haitians, Caribbeans, Africans, all these other folks talking about that they went through the exact same American experience that Black Americans went through historically. No, they can't. they can try as they might, but nobody even comes close. And if we are simply telling people that, yo, this is our culture, like this is us, this is a part of our history, this is within our blood, like this is where it came from, we are the body of this, we are the work, we are the source of this, I don't see what the problem is. Every other culture around the world will tell you in a multitude of ways that this is how proud they are, this is their culture, this is what they believe in, that nobody else shares in or could add in or take from this culture because they are the source from that. When everybody else does it, nobody says anything. People celebrate the type of pride that those people have. When Black Americans take a stand, because for so long, people have decided to trample, walk directly on, hold their noses up, look down upon, they want to bad mouth, right? They want to drag our names to the mud. The moment of time that we're tired of dealing with all of that, right? Tired of dealing with being a puncher bag, and we take a stand, now everybody got a problem, and now automatically we're the villain for standing up. And this is what we get right here. That's some crazy work.
I'm going back and forth with that come here from another country in search of the American dream when I know this is a nightmare. I'm not going back and forth with that think he finna get some favor from these white people. I see you that's born in America do the same. Michigan head coach, Tether, Stephen A. Smith and Tether. How many we seen tap dance and degrade Black people that are from America, born in America? When do do it from abroad, I don't say it's an issue with them. I know that they're brainwashed by the system because they went through colonization over there just like we went through it over here. Why the is they leaving Africa? Because Europeans are destabilizing their countries, inserting capitalist dictators, fascist dictators in more democratic socialist societies, toppling governments, and then sending them fleeing. Where do they go? To America. And what do? They come through with their religious minds, with their colonized minds, and destable black American revolutionaries because they don't know no better. And it's a bunch of in America that don't know no better. They only are used to being in community with abusers. We have been oppressed in this country for 400 years. Some of us don't know how it feels not to be oppressed. Some of you ain't comfortable if you're not oppressed. You've never created an idea of what freedom looks like for you. Black Americans, and I advocate for this, me and Big Cat are the blackest of black Americans. We are true to the black American experience. We are proud. We also understand that our story doesn't start here nor end here. The Panthers were Pan-Africanists. Marcus Garvey was a Pan-Africanist. All the leaders and things that came before you that gave you the blueprint to feel revolutionary were also thinking about global movements, mass communal practices instead of micro movements.
So we heard that, right? So I'm just trying to put this together real quick because he listed two folks up there. I'm not sure if people caught that. He listed the Michigan State coach, and he also listed Stephen A. Smith. Right? No problem. Cool. No problem. Number one, I would like to mention as I'm putting this together, I'm talking and putting this together at the same time. I looked this up and it said, like, Stephen A. Smith is not. Matter of fact, let me just put it up there instead of just, doing it the normal. Let me see if I got room to put it up there, right? Right. This is what they said about Stephen A. Smith, right? Now I got to zoom this in for myself. They said that Stephen A. Smith is an American sports television personality and journalist of West Indian heritage. Born in the Bronx and raised in Queens, New York, he has noted that his parents are from St. Thomas in the United States Virgin Islands. And also, I want to note, let me see if I can look this because I don't want people to get it confused, right? Let me see. Where was this? Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Now, right. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. He defended Jerry Jones because I had to get the image directly up here. Now again, he wanted to use Stephen A. Smith for whatever reason. And we can clearly see this. Says Stephen A. Smith has periodically defended Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, notably regarding the 1957 desegregation photo, calling the backlash cancel culture due to the photo's age. While maintaining a respectful friendship, Smith often toggles between defending Jones's character and heavily criticizing his management decisions and ignorant business first comments. So you decided to bring up Stephen A. Smith, who we clearly have in a photo and clearly shows that he don't like black people. And Stephen A. Smith wanted to just brush it off and be like, oh, he was young. He probably didn't know what was, going on, what was happening, during the time, everybody, it's just a ruckus. And what? Yeah, okay. All right. Man. That's some crazy work. And then he listed the Michigan state coach, right? Ain't this the no? I could stand corrected, right? But wasn't this the dude who was married to a white woman? Huh? I could have. Let me just make sure. let me just make sure. Let me just look up pictures of his wife. Okay, so he was uh okay. Okay. So let me just bring this directly up there, right? So the other example that this man wanted to bring up was the Michigan coach, correct? So the example that you wanted to bring up to people is this black dude who got married to a white woman and then cheated on a white woman with another white woman. These are the examples. These these are the prime examples of you wanting to prove a point. This ain't it. This ain't- I need people to do better on examples. I need people to I need people got to pull up some less or non-problematic people. That's crazy. That the examples that you want to basically give where black people having problems with other black people, you want to list these too. Really? Yo, that is wild. That is wild. That is 100% wild. 100% wild. That's crazy. That's crazy. And somebody, wait, somebody said is he what? Oh, I got you. Hold on. Uh, let me see something real quick. Duh, 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 duh. At the moment, can't really pull up anything ethnicity wise. They don't got anything up here at the moment. I'm pretty sure if I were able to find some digging, some would probably wait, what? Hold up. Well. As soon as I said something, here we go. Hold on. Let me just put this directly up there so we can all just read this because I don't want people to think I'm just hating on another black man. Let's take a look at what this says, guys. It clearly says that is what was it? Sharon Moore, African American, said yes, while his heritage is Caribbean, Moore identifies as African American, and his journey reflects the layered experience of black coaches navigating the highest levels of football. So this is why I tell people before, it's like when you hear people talk, you gotta do your own research. You gotta look some stuff up because in a lot of instances you can't just take people's what it is that they say as face value. So you decided to list two men who are not lineage wise black American. I'm talking about like two black parents, two black American parents. I'm not talking about they from bloodline wise, they from anywhere. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm not talking about none. I'm talking about specifically black American. And these are the two examples. We got one Stephen A. Smith, and we know how Stephen A. Smith be out here talking. And the other one, you wanted to list a Caribbean man who identifies as African American, got married to a white woman and cheated on that white woman with another white woman. Okay. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. That is wild. That is wild. Wrong examples. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, people can date whoever it is that they want to date. But what I'm saying is when you want to make an example, you got to do better. That's all I'm saying. We're trying to make the argument against F.B.A. this and that and all this other stuff. You gotta have better. You gotta do better. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That sounds completely crazy to me. To go off on that limb and this is what they want to sit up there and do. You just need better examples. That's all I'm saying. Just better examples, right? So now what we are going to take a look at, let me see. I did have a video specifically. Okay, yeah, this is the one I wanted to use because I don't think I had room to actually. Oh no, I actually did post it for you guys. Okay, so next we'll go from the bottom here.
What hurt Africans when they come to America, not even most of them don't even deal with black Americans. Most of them don't even want to have nothing to do with black Americans. I don't see no Africans supporting black American businesses. I don't see no black African companies saying we're going to work with black Americans. We're going to work together and unite. I don't see none of that. I ain't never seen none of that. I've been in America all my life. Most of these Africans do not support black Americans. They don't support them money-wise, business-wise, investment-wise. These African people, even as individuals, they do not support black American businesses. I don't care if you're talking about black American braiding shops. I don't care if you talk about a black American woman selling purses or having her own nail shop. These black Americans, a lot of times we don't get support by nobody, especially Africans who come to America, look down on black Americans many times. So it's not just when Africans get to America and say, we ain't dealing with black Americans. Whether we at school, we not dealing with them. Whether it comes to business, we not dealing with them. And now that black Americans say we gonna boycott y'all and we finna basically distance ourselves from y'all, now the majority of Africans have a problem when black Americans no longer, we don't even acknowledge being called African Americans because we're not from Africa, we from America. My ancestors are from America. So I'm fine with being divided. Black Americans ain't never had no allies. It's not that I don't wish nobody, no foreigner bad, but at the same time, if you're a foreigner, especially an African, you got to also take accountability. Many Africans come over here arrogant. They come over here looking down on black Americans, the very people helping you build success, the very people that's giving you opportunities to send money back to your home and help your family. So again, Africans started this war of divide, in my opinion. So none of them never supported black American businesses, but now they want to try to steal many of our reparations. No reparations should only go to black Americans. We helped build America from the ground up. But other foreigners like Africans, they come here and benefit off the backs of black Americans. Everybody, I'm J.R. Leonard. I'm the new voice of sports and social issues. Everybody, please like, share, repost my video. Thank you.
Right, so we heard the brother speaking, and these are the same words that you've heard other black folks, and again, I've heard black folks before I was even thought of. And we have some recordings or audios or videos directly of elders speaking on this exact same thing. And it's funny how a lot of folks don't want to acknowledge any of that information. They don't want to acknowledge the elders speaking on this. They're not trying to have a debate there. They're not trying to have a back and forth there. But when it deals with now, everybody got their mouth open and talking about, oh no, everybody's always been allies of black Americans. Everybody's always supported. And the main go-to that they always say is what? Oh, we were there for BLM. Okay. And what do we sit up there and find out when it dealt specifically with the money side of BLM? We found out a lot of stuff that didn't make sense. So again, you can miss me directly with that. The other thing I also want to list is we tried to tell a lot of people before it got to this point that you are making the wrong choice, the wrong decision. And yeah, people are free to make whatever choice they want to sit up there and make. But people can also give you early warnings, right? So going back to the fact of how people want to say that, oh, they supported black people, they were there, and all this other type of stuff, right? Let's take a look. Let's blast from the past. Let's take a listen.
System continues to fail black people, and they will continue to fail you all. Like I said, because this happened with Orlando, when they get done with us, They're coming from you, for you, for you, and all your interracial children. Y'all are next. And you'll be standing up here fighting for justice just as well as I am. I am so disappointed in the state of Minnesota. My son loved this state. He had one tattoo on his body, and it was of the Twin Cities, the state of Minnesota with TC on it. My son loved this city, and this city killed my son. And the murderer gets away. Are you kidding me right now? We're not evolving as a civilization. We're devolving. We have taken steps forward. People have died for us to have these rights, and now we're devolving. We're going back down to 1969. What is it gonna take? I'm mad as hell right now. Yes, I am. My firstborn one son died here in Minnesota. Under the circumstances, just because he was a police officer, that makes it okay. Oh, now they got free reign. He's found innocent on all counts. He's shot into a car with no regard to human life, and that's okay.
So the main thing that she stated was that, hey, we're not really getting no support for this. And inevitably what's going to happen is that because y'all don't want to sit up there and support what it is that you're able to see and hear right now. You're listening to the mother. You're seeing that she's in distress. You're seeing that she is hurt. You're seeing that she is in pain. You're seeing that she is going through sorrow. And because you don't want to stand up for what you know is wrong, because you don't want to speak, the exact same thing that you see that happened to her son is going to happen to you. And it's going to happen to everybody else. And here we are. The words of this mother from some time ago, ringing true today because nobody wanted to listen. All of these folks that want to get online and talk about, oh yeah, we're allies, we're this, we're that. Where? When all of these police were getting like left, just like they were left and right. They were just getting, just bailed out of jail because nothing was incriminating. They were found innocent by their peers and all this. Where were y'all at? What happened to the countless officers that were released? To the countless officers that really, were free. They didn't really have no trial. They were just free. They were just held momentarily because the system was like, we're going to investigate ourselves, and we investigated and we found no wrongdoing. So he's free to go. So now all of those folks that y'all allowed to roam free, they didn't had kids and had families, and now they're raising their kids and their families to do the exact same things that they did. And guess what? Their kids are going directly into law enforcement. They're going directly into the military. They're going directly into the National Guard. They're going directly into a lot of these other places, which are going to have a negative effect on everybody else. And now everybody else is realizing it, and they're looking at black people like, yo, black people, we gotta let bygones be bygones. We gotta put the past in the past. That was so long ago. We gotta focus on the here and now. We're all suffering. No, we're not all suffering. You're suffering. You're the ones losing. Because the funniest thing is the main two faces that were showcased that were harmed by way of ICE, law enforcement, however it is that you want to put it, are white. Even though that there's information directly out there showing that both of those people that had their lives taken, and again, this is not me sitting up there saying that people deserve to have their lives taken, but I will sit up there and say that when you decide to put your life in the fray of things, a building is burning and you opt to go directly inside of that burning building. That's what those people decided to do at those protests. The one guy who lost his life, I guess he was a nurse or whatever it is. There's videos out there of him kicking vehicles that had ICE agents directly in there. These people are armed. Why would you sit up there and kick a vehicle where you got dudes with bulletproof vest on and they're armed to the teeth? Why would you sit up there and do that? That's like you going up to a hornet's nest and deciding that you wanted to punch it. You got to be one of the most stupidest fools directly out here. You're provoking the inevitable to happen. If you attack a hornet's nest, what a hornet's going to do? they're going to attack any and everything moving nearby, probably in like a 20-mile radius. If they even perceive you as a threat, if you're even moving and breathing, they're going to sit up there and attack you because, like, hey, we got an attack. We don't know who did it, but you're in this area. Okay, we're going to attack you. We're going to come directly after you. We're going to chase you down. The other woman, Renee Good, her life got taken. Why? Because she decided that she wanted to be in the middle of the road where ICE was doing whatever it is that they was doing, minding their business, just doing whatever it is that they're doing. She decided to put herself in a situation. Better yet, let me rephrase that. Her wife decided to put her in that situation by telling her to leave the safety of her home and to come down to the protest where her wife decided to be. And because her wife decided who was the head of the marriage, head of the relationship, told her, and Renee followed orders, Renee inevitably lost her life because she followed the orders of her wife. So, like I said, all of this is because people decided that they didn't want to listen. And it's going to keep happening. Like I said, I don't got no empathy or sympathy on the situation. I told people a while ago the exact same energy that people gave during all of those extents when black folks were losing their lives directly out here by way of the police, and you had a whole bunch of folks that seemingly didn't care. They didn't want to say nothing. Cool, no problem. The energy is going to be returned. I told you I was going to be right here, and I told you I was going to report directly on it, and I'm going to look at the situation the exact same way that y'all looked at it for the last 10 plus years. So for the white folks out there who are going to potentially lose their lives in the future, I need y'all to learn how to respect the police. I need you to learn how to listen to an oath keeper, respect the law. I need white folks to raise their kids better so that they don't antagonize law enforcement doing their duties. Any point in time from now up until the end of time that I ever see law enforcement harming or taking the life of anybody in the white community, I'm just going to sit back and say that y'all need to raise y'all kids better. Maybe if your kids were dressed differently, maybe if they were talking differently, maybe if they would listen and obey a law abiding command from an oath keeper, things would have been different. Maybe if they would have minded their business and stopped trying to, be one of the riffraff, stop trying to be thugs directly out here, stop trying to be criminals. Maybe if they wasn't running around like gangbangers, maybe they wouldn't be targeted. Right? Like I said, it's interesting when white Americans want to pull up online for the last 10 to 15 years and y'all think that we're going to forget all of the most atrocious, horrendous things that you have said to those who lost their lives, and you think that we're not going to have that energy in return. You are sorely mistaken. You are sorely let me see. You know, for me, at this moment in time, how I feel about the situation, this is going to be me every single situation when it deals with that. Let me just take these down. Hold on, give me a second. Because like I said, I find it very interesting that folks feel that, oh no, black people, y'all need to, turn the other cheek. Don't sit up there and give the same energy that other people basically give. No, you can't do that. You have to sit up there and you got to be better. And I'm like, for what purpose does it serve me? This is me every single time. if the image will even show up, which it won't. Hilarious. Hold on. Right there. That's pretty much me. And this was taken from The Flash, the television show. That's going to be me every single time. You know how a lot of folks wanted to get directly online and they wanted to sit up there and quote unquote celebrate, and they wanted to act a fool. They wanted to, clink champagne glasses, and they wanted to, do all of it. Yeah, this is how I'm gonna be chilling. That's how I'm gonna be chilling, because I'm like, what be like that? Maybe if you would sit up there and think differently about how you want to move in life, things wouldn't happen. Right? Law enforcement would not have to come directly for you and teach you a lesson. As a matter of fact, from now up until the end of time, the moment in time that law enforcement does anything to the white American community, I'm going to be right there to say that cop did nothing wrong. Free that man. Put money on his books. Bail him directly out. Allow him to be an officer again. Do not strip him of his badge and put him directly back into the white community so he can do his job again. I promise you, if at any moment in time the black community, even just not even a half, but somewhere close to that, if a nice close to half of the black community had that exact same energy online, I promise you would see that blow up like nothing else ever before, and people would be like, "Oh my God, this further proves that the blacks are anti-white, and this that and the third, and then they just want things to happen to us, and they're trying to do away with us, and right, they're going to go right into that spiel, and everybody's going to run directly with it, but everybody's not going to note for the last 10 to 15 plus years what Black Americans have had to see and face when it dealt with online commentary. It don't matter if it's podcast. It don't matter if it's even people directly on the news, like Fox News. Them fools have said a great deal of things, a great deal of insinuations. Right? A lot of people all over took all types of liberties to say whatever it is that they wanted to say. But I promise you that if at any moment in time, if Black Americans return that exact same energy, everybody would play victim. That's crazy. That's 1,000% crazy. But what was happening to us? Okay, I got you. Yo, Jay, shout out to the for the $10 dono. You said, yeah, sorry for the topic. No, it's cool. You said none of the black people, none. You said black people didn't care. They knew what was happening to us. Not and you, okay, you said now it's happening to them and they expect us to help them because it's happening to them. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, we tried to tell folks what it is and what's going to happen because we have a unique history here. Everybody always thinks that they know what is best. They think that they know better than us. They think that they are bigger than the program, and we try to warn people. Even though we don't have to, we don't have to say a word. We can just let people walk directly through a dark door and let them see what happens. But we are nice enough to try to warn people, no matter how it is that they treat us, no matter how it is that they belittle us, that they want to name call us, that they want to do all of these things that they normally do in groups, mind you, in groups. And now people are like, well, we're not going to apologize for not believing you and all the things that we did, but we're going to still turn around and ask you, like, yo, we need to help. We need to fight together on this, because it's not just us dealing with this. Because after they're done with the immigrants, blacks, guess what? They're going to throw you into slavery. So you might want to stand up and fight and do something before they come after you. Well, the joke's on you, because they've always come directly after us. Like I've said several times now, we are the beginning and we are the end. You guys are just in the middle. So you guys, a lot of y'all are just getting your little taste of what it is that historically what we faced. And y'all can't even deal with it. It's a little bit hot, and y'all just burn it up. It's like, that's crazy. You would have thought that y'all were not just built to just deal with heat. I mean, some of y'all ain't, but you know what I'm saying. Like I said, it'd be like that though. It 100% be like that. It'd be like that, right? Let me take down these pictures here. Take these down. All right. So now let's go to the next one.
Be a difficult and lengthy process. President Trump signed an executive order that says any woman in the United States unlawfully who gives birth to a child and that father is not a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, that baby will not be considered a U.S. citizen. It also says that any woman who comes to the United States as a visitor or as a student or for business or through the visa waiver program, these are folks who are lawful here in the United States with a visa, also gives birth to a child during that lawful time here in the United States, but yet the father is not a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, that child is not a U.S. citizen. This executive order goes into effect, or it applies to babies who are born 30 days after the order. It directs federal agencies from recognizing the child as a U.S. citizen, and it also says that state and local governments who recognize these babies.
Right. So basically saying that these foreign women can't be coming here and just randomly having kids. Pretty much. And if you do, guess what? That child is not going to be considered American. Oops. Oops. But let me tell you now, let me tell you what the new scam is going to be, though. A lot of these foreign women, they're going to come here. And from my perspective, the main group that I feel that foreign women are going to try to target are Black American men. Said you, why would you say that foreign women would try to target Black American men? Because a lot of people are able to witness and see the discourse that is online. People can go, if people want to try to get a consensus on what America feels about Black men, right? And then on top of that, you go online and you want to get a standpoint or a view of how Black women feel about Black men online. That's going to give them the plan that they need. And it's going to be easy for them to do. I'm just going to I'm just going to sit there and be as honest. It's going to be easy for them to do, because there's so much stuff going on and there's so much negativity and things like that when it deals with Black American men, that those women are gonna be like, yo, this is the easiest route to sit up there and go. They are American, so by way of trying to finagle and do some things that way, it's like, I got a plan right there. And like I said, it's going to be easy work. I wouldn't be too surprised. I wouldn't be too surprised. And like I said, it's gonna be something. that's the best way I can put it. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. It is going to be something with the scamming and the targeting plans that folks are going to try to do in order to secure that citizenship. It's gonna be some stuff though. It's gonna be some stuff. Watch, promise you. Give it about a good 10 years. You'll start hearing some stories. Just like you hear stories of Africans deciding that they're trying to get married. You got the African dudes getting married abroad, even though they got families back home. They're getting married in Japan, getting married in China, getting married to European women, all to quote unquote bring their family over, aka bring over their wife and their kids. And they claim that that's their brothers and their sisters and their cousins. Like I said, there are stories. That's crazy. I'm looking at somebody by the name of Cruz directly in the comment section, wanted to speak on Black Americans. That's some wild work. That's some wild. There's a lot of things I want to say, but I'm working on becoming a better person. I actually saw somebody else directly in the comment section as well talking about FBA. And the main thing I tell people is that if you want to learn about FBA, you can sit up there and look it up yourself. I didn't gone over the definition and specifically what it means, time and time again and all this other type of stuff. But for whatever reason, everybody can write paragraphs, directly in the chat, but can't take 5 to 10 to 15 seconds to use the same thumbs and to just Google something real quick. It's some wild work out here, let me tell you. This woman, Gail. Gail is hilarious. Oh my goodness, Gail is hilarious. Let me tell you something. What's up, Gail? Hey, Sham, what is up? What is up? What is up? Hopefully you are feeling better. And the other thing that I want to note about folks that want to always tell black people to, hey, you need to monitor, we're all going through this and that and all this. But I'm like, okay, so for all of the, and again, I don't got nothing against nobody, right? But for a lot of the folks out there that are specifically Pan-African or whatever it is that you want to call yourself, why is it that y'all get online and y'all want to rah when it deals with Black Americans and what it is that they feel? Why don't y'all get together as a whole collective and y'all are all over there? Y'all taking American dollars and y'all all go over there to Africa to start fixing up these African countries. That's all I'm trying to figure out. That's all I'm trying to figure out, right? Because a lot of people want to sit up there and say that, Black Americans ain't sitting up there doing nothing and all this. But I'm like, if y'all really, for a lot of those folks out there that say that they are deeply entrenched and they love, Africa and all these other places, I'm just trying to figure out where are these people when it deals with trying to get the Caribbean straight, when it deals with trying to get the Haitians straight, right? When it deals with getting the Africans straight, so they don't have to run to Canada, they don't have to run to Europe, they don't got to run to China, they don't got to run to Japan, they don't got to go to Australia. That's all I'm just trying to figure out. And again, it's an honest question, because I'm like, instead of quote unquote wasting time and talking to Black Americans and trying to change their mind frame or frame working, why are y'all not proactively as a group over there marching and fixing up those countries, taking your American dollars and investing them into those governments so that they can be less corrupt or however it works, cleaning up those streets, helping those people actually get, water, sewage systems, working lights that so they won't have blackouts or brownouts. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, because I see a lot of folks having problems with Black Americans and not focused on what it is that they say that they are focused on, or on the work that needs to be done. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to Brother Allen for the $5 dono. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Much love, much love, much love. Rabbit said, can we still watch 90 Day Fiance? I love the doom from the start relationships. Muhammad was really surprising. 50 years old. Smells. Oh yeah, it's crazy. That is wild. That is wild. Nietzsche, what is up? What is up? What is up? I want to mispronounce the name. You said because they don't want to go to Africa, they just want us to go over there, then complain when we don't want to go. Speaking of the comment that you just mentioned, much love, respect, and appreciation for the $5 dono. Much love, much love, much love. Speaking on the comment that you brought up, which was this one right here, let me just pair it up with this video here.
Joy Reid videos. If you get an opportunity to watch Joy Reid videos, go watch them. You'll learn a lot, especially her video on slavery. Oh, we're gonna wait till the midterm election comes. Ain't gonna be no midterm election. You better look into getting a dual citizenship somewhere if you can, because things about to get ugly.
So let me just freeze it right there, right? So you had the young man from the Grits and Eggs podcast, and he was, he wanted to go on his rant when it dealt with Black Americans. But why is it that none of these folks got any type of mouth for these celebrities that are saying that they're not about to fight for what it is that they got here in these United States? They're going to run. They're going to flee. That's now again, if people said, "Hey, I got a dual citizenship because of business, or maybe I got a home or something like that, or vacationing," that's cool, no problem, right? Cool. You're talking about as a wealthy individual, right? A quote unquote Black American. You're talking about like, yeah, things getting like real bad here. I got dual citizenship, so I can dip. I mean, George Clooney did that. He, I think he either has dual citizenship or he renounced his American citizenship, and he is now with his wife raising his kids, I think over there in Italy or France or something like that, right? Um, so again, I find it very interesting that a lot of folks on these podcasts don't really have nothing to say about these celebrities, just dipping off and not trying to fight for nothing. But then you want to run your mouth online and you want to try to clown, ordinary Black Americans for their stance and solidifying that stance and saying that, hey, this is us. This is what we want to sit up there and fight for. This is what we stand for. That's some crazy work. No mouth for the celebrities running, even though they supposed to be proud to be Black and all this other stuff. Not trying to fight for nothing. They're not trying to put no money into no fight or nothing like that. Let's keep going.
Things about to get really. I'm scared. Scared. It might be a point where we might have to pack up our families and leave, because if ICE can get immigrants or whatever and just go and get them, and without their due process in court, why can't they do it to everybody else?
Right. So we heard that, right? I'm just trying to figure out, what would you be specifically afraid of, sir? What would you be afraid of? Because I'm highly, I, huh. Again, it's a little bit odd to me when people are they talking about just running. Because when I think about things historically speaking, Black Americans, our ancestors, they didn't have the unique ability. We're about to just sit up there and pack up and run. We're about to do this. We're about to do that. No, people had to stay and fight. You either stand for something or you fall for anything, right? Didn't have the luxury, didn't have the liberty to automatically go flee. That's something of a now time that people have the ability to do because of how open the world is, because of money, because of how laws and the outlook of things have, changed. And I hear a lot of these celebrities out here telling ordinary folks, yo, you need to sit up there and get a dual passport. But the funny thing is, they could more than likely make this message open, but they're probably still not even talking to the ordinary people. They're probably just talking in, quote unquote, in general, but realistically, they're talking to their other celebrity friends, right? Because if other celebrities got together and decided that they wanted to make a plan, there's a potentiality that somebody is going to snitch and try to give that information to who not and whoever, right? And we all know what normally happens when you got people trying to come together with some stuff, right? But when these celebrities come online and they decide that, hey, I'm going to my platform to just talk to my millions of followers or whatnot or whatever, they can then relay that message openly. And the ones that are in the know, meaning their other celebrity friends, they can just peer in, they can listen directly to it without them having to all be in one room as a giant target. And that's something else that I've witnessed over time, especially during the pandemic, where a lot of celebrities would give messages, and the messages would not really they didn't really sound right. It was just something a little bit weird, as if you knew that they were talking to you, but you knew directly that they were not talking to you, right? It's like if you walk down the street and you see somebody looking at you and you think that they're looking at you, but really they're looking through you. It's that type of thing. And that's the same thing I feel with this when it deals with the whole Ricky Smiley situation. That a lot of these celebrities are just trying to get smart, trying to find better ways to communicate with one another, because they know that, people are being tracked and, being listened directly to, targeted, and all these other types of things. So this is the easiest way for them to sit up there and do it, because the information could generally, right, be used for anybody, but specifically when it deals with being able to move and from, when it deals with uprooting and then going somewhere else, ordinary black folks just can't do that. We don't normally just have, yeah, we got multi-million-dollar business. We got 4 businesses going, so we got, quite a bit of money coming directly in, so yeah, we're going to uproot and just go, somewhere else and leave this here running on autopilot. Nah. So again, you know who it is that they're talking to. And then the dude talking about listening to Joy Reid. First of all, I didn't mention a lot of things on this platform about Joy Reid. She done a lot of targeting when it deals with Black American men. Number one, made large targets directly out of. And then last time I checked, right, Joy Reid is not Black American, correct? Let me look at that real quick. Let me see. Yeah, Joy Reid is an American journalist of 5+ mixed Afro-Caribbean and Central African descent. Right, her father is Congolese, Congolese from the DR, an engineer. Her mother is Guyanese, right, a professor and nutritionist. And she was born in New York but raised in Denver, Colorado. That's wild. That is wild. So you got all of this melanin there, right? But you weren't even raised in an area around Black people. They took you directly to Colorado. That's wild. And they say she identifies as Black/African American. This man said, "Listen to Joy Reid." Nah, I'm sorry. Because last time I looked at Joy Reid online, she was disappointed and angry, about being fired and all this other type of stuff. And now, she stated that she's not even Democrat and she's far from it and all this. Yeah, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that. Now, after you done realized all of the stuff that you've been sitting up there doing didn't pan out for you. It was not going to give you that pot of gold at the end. Now you want to just try to be against everything and try to dismantle stuff. It is far too late for that, brother. It is far too late for that. Like I said, and for anybody that falls directly for that, I got a planet in another solar system I can sell to you for $10. If you're willing to buy it, you don't got to sign no contracts. We don't need no paperwork. But I got that planet. Got that planet that you can be directly on. Nice vacations, cool weather. You got 2 to 3 suns like Tatooine. It's great. It's great, right? You don't even got to worry about the empire. Crazy work out. It's diabolical in nature. Diabolical in nature. But now let's go to the next video of another celebrity.
Revolution. It's time for it, and they don't even know that's what they're starting. Some very rich old white men are exerting their power to suppress our own people, thus creating a feeling of civil war in the streets, preparing the haters to hate, teaching them how to shoot. They're not even trained right, to kill. This is all a preparation for a very insidious problem that's happening in our world. And for me, I have to speak out that we will not be iced out. This is not going to happen. They can't take us all down. If the whole world showed up on Putin's doorstep or on the Iranian's doorstep or in Washington, it would stop. They'll kill 550 million, however, but the rest of us would survive with a new. This is time for a revolution. It's time for it, and they don't even know that's what they're starting. But we have to be strong enough to know that we can change the world. We have to change it from within. So if I'm spiritually ready and right, and I'm ready to understand other people and to agree to disagree with them and say, okay, let's find the solution together, then that starts to change things. Not by deporting immigrants, not by killing brown and even white people on the street. It's crossing over now, and believe me, this is gonna really spark the nature of so many people who are gonna show up and say, no more. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take it anymore.
So, like I said, I like him as an actor, right? He's on the Boys, and he was on what was it, Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? And a few other things, directly from back in the day, Spike Lee and things of that nature, right? Great actor, cool. But again, that's where it stops. People got to have the ability to separate the actor from the actual person, right? The roles that they play that you like versus who they are specifically in real life. And again, I have no problem with him speaking up and standing directly for his people. And I want to note the fact that even looking at the captions, nowhere in there did he list Black Americans. He specifically listed the folks who are being affected by this the most. And again, I respect that. I respect the fact when people can focus in on the issue and not try to, push Black Americans into or try to make it seem as though that they are being targeted specifically in this. This is not our problem. This is not our issue. He specifically stated the two people that when you look at social media, when you look at the news, who are being overwhelmingly affected, directly by this. Like I said, no problem. He's using his platform. He is speaking directly for his people to his people, and he's, putting the message directly up. Have no problem. But again, the main thing that I do want to point out to Black Americans is that in a lot of instances, when people will see things hitting their front door, they will make sure to speak for themselves. But when they see things happening to you, they will make sure to stay silent and to stay quiet. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So now we're going to go to the next video, which is this one.
The FBI created the Ghetto Informant Program, where they recruited people that looked like us to spy on us, to build a massive intelligence network within Black America. You don't have to believe me. Look up the FBI documents. 1960 was the year of the Greensboro sit-ins, where 4 Black college students sat at a segregated lunch counter. Within months, sit-ins spread to over 70 cities. Tens of thousands of students mobilized, and they formed SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. It was the first time in U.S. history that young Black people had organized independently at scale, across state lines, outside of the church, with no central leadership to target. It was growing too fast for the FBI to track. And our movement leaders, they were meeting with revolutionaries all around the world. Africa, Latin America, Asia, all of Europe's former colonies were decolonizing. It was so clear that all of our struggles were intertwined. And by 1960, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover wrote that they had to prevent the rise of a Negro Messiah. So from 1960 to 1966, the FBI collected data on us through the Ghetto Informant Program. If you've ever heard of COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program that kept files on Dr. King, Rosa Parks, all the Panthers, that program was originally established to spy on communists. The Ghetto Informant Program, that's how they expanded into Black America. And by 1967, the FBI officially established its Black Nationalist Program built in to COINTELPRO. So by the time the Black Panther Party gets on the scene, the FBI already had informant networks, neighborhood maps, reports on political figures and organizations, and infiltration pipelines. This is a 60-plus-year-old blueprint that requires us to be diligent with how we vet and vouch for our leaders. It requires us to pick up a book and get educated about what our leaders actually wrote and believed. You gotta know how to tell the real from the fake.
So we heard that, right? So again, we've always had problems and issues. And within us trying to figure out and create a solution, we've always had infiltrators, people willfully going directly into program. Wait, hold on, give me a second. Apologies, had to take a phone call. But again, we always have infiltrators. We always have those willfully deciding to do the dirty work, even to the extent of people who look exactly like us. And people wonder why it is that Black Americans don't trust anybody directly out here, because you have far too many people that are willing to do the dirty work of the government or the many other hidden or silent hands directly out there when it deals with stuff of this nature. And as I stated before earlier, Black Americans have a very unique history. No other group out here can specifically talk about the fact that the government created organizations in order to infiltrate, in order to stop, in order to dismantle the movements of the Black community, because they want to control any and everything that is specifically happening. Like I said, you had those in the government that specifically stated that the Black community will never have a Black Messiah unless they are the ones that orchestrate it, the ones that create it, that bring it into reality, which means that that would be a controlled entity that they can move at their whim. That if they want that person to jump, they'll jump. If they want them to, speak to the Black community and to, tell them to, push money towards this other organization, they'll sit up there and do it. This is another reason why, and I know I get quite a bit of flack when I say this from time to time. This is why I have a problem with the church, because I don't really see anything, or I haven't seen anything where the church has provided any type of a safety net or a community workshop or a think tank where Black Americans can really come through, feel safe, just be at ease and breathe and build and flourish. Haven't seen it. The most, again, like I said before, in the Black community, when it deals with the church, all I've seen the church do is take, recite the exact same Bible scriptures that have been recited since slavery. Ain't nobody out here saying nothing different. It's the exact same thing. People may have just worded it differently. Maybe people have styled themselves differently. Maybe the people saying it are a bit younger, but it's the exact same things. And people are like, no, it's like it would take you 70 lifetimes to sit up there and like really, read the Bible. And even at the end, you just really figure it out. It's really deeper than deeper than deeper than deeper. I'm like, okay. I'm sorry. I'm like, all right, you got it. I ain't gonna argue with you. You got it. You got it. But I'm not about to keep listening to people regurgitate the exact same things. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. All of the, everything is supposed to be a lesson, and it seems as though that nobody's learning any type of lessons. So it seems as though that some of the lessons that are supposed to be there, they're not properly being taught, because people are still out here making the same mistakes. Color me surprised. Because normally if you go to school, like let's say you go to college, right, and you're taught how to be proficient, right? You're taught how to be a scientist. You're taught how to be a pianist, right? You're taught a lot of these. You're taught how to be a chemist, right? You're taught how to be proficient in that field. You don't need to sit up there and automatically go back 99 different times. You don't need to go back and hear the lesson 99 different times. You don't need to go back and ask a question to the teacher, 40 or 50 years, consistently in the future. No, you already got everything that was supposed to be handed down to you. So the if, ands, or buts, how to problem solve and think yourself out of different situations. Or if you run into something new that you've never seen before, you know how to potentially craft or to have critical thinking or enough critical thinking skills where it's like, all right, I got this. I got A, B, and C that I could potentially do. So let me just look at this and see what's going to work. When it deals with the church, it's none of that. Everybody's still going back to the pastor. Everybody's still going back to, hear about Genesis, Revelations, Leviticus, and all this other. People still going to making the same mistakes. People still going to drugs, still going to alcohol, still going to this, still going to that. The same exact way that we talk about big pharma being problematic when it deals with the health of people, that's the exact same way that I feel about the church in the Black community. That is just there. It's not really solving anything. Somebody needs to show me the work. Show me what has the Black churches in general around the Black community have actually solved. I'll wait. Because we still got drugs in the Black community. We still got alcoholism. We still got addicts. We still got Black people dying over senseless stuff. We still got gangs. We still got thieves. We still got adulterers, right? We still got gamblers, right? We still got DV in the Black community. Like I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to figure some stuff out. That's just me. I don't know. And then the church is the same one telling Black folks that we all need to come together, but yet ain't all of these folks that we need to come together with ain't never come together with us. So I'm a little bit confused. Like I said, shout out to the snake oil salesman. They know how to do their job. They learn from the best, aka the government. They go hand in hand. So the exact same way that this brother was giving the examples of how the government came directly in to the Black community, and whenever it is that they saw Black community trying to pick themselves up, group together, and actually fix some situations, and the government's like, nah, we're going to break that all down. That's the exact same way that the government is using the church. In my eyes. I mean, maybe I could be incorrect. I could be incorrect, but I'm just saying. It'd be like that though. That's all I'm saying. So next we're going to go to this young woman here and see what she has to say. Right. And this goes directly into what Ricky Smiley was saying earlier about, moving and living abroad and the whole thing of, make sure to get your dual citizenship because things are getting bad. Right. So this is an honest take from a woman, as she stated, she has lived abroad. And a lot of the problems and situations that I'm hearing here, I don't hear a lot of these folks who consider themselves to be Pan-Africanist or whatnot, whatever. I don't hear them talking about the hardships or the different trials that Black Americans face or would have to go through when moving to a whole, another spot, right? So let's take a listen.
Let me share some cons with you that I have noticed living abroad as an expat. Sometimes you really miss being in the United States of America. And even though there's a lot of happening there, even though Trump is literally doing a number on the USA, you actually sometimes really miss being there. And yes, even with all the wahala that's going on in the USA, sometimes I really miss being back home. A lot of people move over here abroad because the USA dollar stretches a lot further when you're in foreign country. But nobody ever talks about how it is to adapt to the environment that you're in. And not a lot of people are built for living abroad, especially in Africa. Some places that you go to in Africa, you have to deal with the water quality. Some places the water is extremely dirty. It's very hard for Americans to adapt to the food. Some places don't have consistent lights, and there is extortion all over Africa. And let's talk about how dangerous it could be living abroad as well. In some places, they see foreigners as a come up, as a walking lick. And they don't do this as much in Kenya as other places, but sometimes you could be out and about and people will literally follow you because you're American. Would be begging for money. They would be following you all over the place. Sometimes it could be a bit overwhelming. Then if you go like to the market and buy things, or you go to like the store, you want to buy like furniture or curtains or something like that, it's like as soon as they see you as a foreigner, they automatically up the price on you. So something that a local may pay like $2 and $3 for, you could easily pay like $50 for. And even though we have like crime and everything happening in the United States of America, USA is not any better. But these are things that you have to adapt. And you actually have to think and move like a local if you want to live abroad. And I'm not going to lie, you better not come abroad with only just savings and savings only. You have to have some type of revolving income, because if not, eventually you're going to run out of money. It may not be 2 months, it may not be 4 months, may not be 6 months, but eventually you're going to run out of money if you are only depending on what's in your bank account. Like me, I am a business owner, so my business allows me to travel internationally. I teach people how to do business and everything, so I'm just not living abroad and not having any revolving income. You must have some type of other side hustle to live abroad. And God forbid, you better hope you don't get sick, because living abroad is not like in the USA where you could just go into the ER and they'll see you even if you don't have insurance, or even if you don't have the money to pay right then and there. Here, I'm speaking of Africa, you must have money in order to be seen. They don't care if you are in a state of emergency. They are not going to see you if you do not have money to give them. And if you have to have any type of surgeries or anything like that, they will increase the price too if they see that you're a foreigner. Or if you are in a life and death situation and you don't have that money to give them for that emergency, you are going to be out of luck. The healthcare system abroad is completely, totally different than the USA. And I can say in Kenya it's a lot better because they are ranked like number 2 when it comes to healthcare. But even with Kenya, you must have money in order to be seen. I just had an emergency about last month and they wanted like $1,000 to see me. So I was forced to go to the village doctor, who only charged like maybe $80 to $100. Mind you, I've never been to a village doctor before, so that was quite an experience. And if you have children, it seems like the kids adapt a lot quicker than adults do, because my kids did, and they're living and they're enjoying being abroad. But also when it comes to kids, you have to have some type of teaching plan in place for them too. Because if you ever go back to the United States of America and they find out you were living abroad and you didn't have your children in school, or you didn't have them in homeschooling, they're going to make you start from square one. So homeschooling is always an option when you're living abroad, or taking your kids to international schools. My kids are not in international school right now because it's so expensive, but eventually they will be. But right now it is so expensive, and they do like per term, and it's like a couple $1,000s. So yeah, I know that nobody's talking about this, and I love living abroad. I do love it. I love living abroad. I have been living in Kenya now for, like I said, about 7, maybe closer to 8 months. And I highly recommend people come to Kenya, but also you have to be prepared for, what's going on in the country. You have to be prepared to live and adapt like a local. Even though you have your USD, you are still going to feel whatever the country is feeling. You may be in a better situation because you have the money to live in better areas, or you have the money to, buy higher quality products and everything, but you're still going to feel whatever that country is feeling. And I'm going to make another video too, just listing a couple places that I would recommend that you can try to move to if you're wanting to move abroad. Places that I have researched prior to coming to Kenya. I chose Kenya because of the healthcare, and because I've seen a lot of expats saying that it's close to living in the United States of America. So that's the reason why I chose Kenya. But yeah, I just wanted to do this video just to let you guys know that, living abroad is good. I love it and everything, but also it comes with problems as well. It's not all glitter and golds like people are making it seem.
All that glitters is not
Are built
gold. Now, the interesting thing directly about this, like I said before, only so few will be honest about what it takes and what they have endured and had to go through and seen. A lot of other folks, they're not going to tell you the bad side. They're not going to tell you the ugly and the bad. They're just going to only list the good. They'll be like, yeah, I'm so free. I can breathe. I can, walk down the street. I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about that. Everybody looks like me. Look at how the house that I'm living in, and look at the land, and look at the air, and listen to the animals, and this, that, and the third. And right, they're going to hype you up by just showing you that. but they're not going to educate you on the economy. They're not going to educate you on the treatment of what Black Americans have to deal with. As she stated before, if they know or can even sense that you're Black American, something that might have cost like $2 for a local there automatically going to cost you 50 to 100. They will automatically super upcharge. They will turn whatever it is into a pair of Jordans real quick directly on you, because they're like, oh, well, you're rich, you got it. So I'm about to sit up there and get what it is that I can get. And that goes back to the conversation that we had before, where it was an African woman, and she said that all Africans do when they go to whatever country that they're in is take, 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 take. They're all about what it is that they can get. They're not about nobody else. They're only about themselves. So this is where I go back and I say, why is it that people want Black Americans to quote unquote formulate the Avengers with other groups of people when other groups of people don't really even like us like that? It's all about what is it that we can do for them. It's what is it that we can specifically give. Matter of fact, you can go look at a young man by the name of I Show Speed. If you type in I Show Speed, and you I guess you could probably type in I Show Speed African tour or I Show Speed goes to Africa. Watch how it is that he gets treated. Right? There's a lot of different moments that are there, but watch how it is that that he gets treated directly there. Watch how it is in Africa, and other people have showed this as well too, that you got folks walking through who are from America. They will walk through the streets of Africa, and you got people automatically following them, trying to hound them directly for money. It don't matter if it's adults or if it's kids or if it's a whole family. And I'm like, that's wild to me, because last time I checked, a lot of Africans sit up there and say that everything is all good over there, right? It's tons of opportunities over there. Everybody is living pretty decent. But then when you have Americans showcasing what they got to face, like you got people just trying to snatch phones out of people's hands. You got people trying to run them down, beg them for money. You got a whole bunch of people. You got men at gas stations. I think I might have showed y'all that video before, but it was a video of a quote unquote Black American male in Africa, and he was just at a gas station, and there was about 10, 15, almost like 20 African men trying to get this dude to go into like multiple different directions to try to buy something or get something directly from these guys. I'm like, that's wild to me. That's 100% wild to me. That just should not be, but yet it is. But the one thing that I will sit up there and say is that when it deals with her kids going over there, they have a different cultural experience, right? That the one thing I do sit up there and tell people, hey, it's no no problem. People want to take a trip or a vacation and stick their toe into another culture and try to learn some things and understand some things, world perspective, those type of things, right? To give a well-rounded view of stuff, or to allow people to understand how appreciative you should be of where it is that you specifically come from, right? Because for me, it's very odd to hear folks sit up there and say, like, once they move over to like this whole other place that's supposed to be better and they can breathe and stuff, it's weird to hear people say that they basically miss being home. I'm like, the whole reason to leave home is because quote unquote home was not the best suited thing for you. Certain things were happening at home that wasn't beneficial for growth. It wasn't beneficial for life longevity. Things of that nature. It's a little bit weird always hearing that. Right. Like I said, I understand people taking vacations, maybe taking some extended trips. But the moment in time that you decide that you want to just uproot and you're just purely just like living there and this is where you're going to be for the rest of your life, yes, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. Yo, Lenard, what is up? You said no, said you just gotta work hard. Yeah, like that's crazy to see a lot of those folks out there just begging openly in the streets. And as Sham stated, like you got folks out there where they'll run up on you with a machete real quick with no problem. And like, yo, they got a different type of justice out there. Like they can do whatever it is they want to do out there. If they feel like if they catch you and you stole something, oh yeah, street justice. Like the villagers coming out and they about to stump the yard. You might not make it. You might not make it. The police might even get in on that. Like, it's some crazy work out there. Crazy work out there. But like she said before, if you're going to move abroad and you got kids, yo, you better be very cautious. You better you better pay attention. Somebody better have some teaching degrees or something like that, because it'll be a culture shock for them when they return directly to the United States. And you know how this American system is. To the better extent, especially if it's New York, oh, it's over. You got to be a scholar to graduate high school from there. Like I said, I didn't even understand the difficulties that New York students even face. Matter of fact, let me look up something. Let me see. New York student. Ooh, Jesus Christ. Oh no, okay. They said in 2026, New York State faces a complex landscape with a high school graduation rate around 82.8%. In New York, while college dropout rates remain above the national average, with over 1.9 million state residents having some college experience but no degree, New York high school dropouts saw a slight increase in 2022 to 5.4%, while lingual learners slash English language learners face a high of 26% dropout rate. Woo, that's crazy. Dang, that's wild. Ooh, boy. Let me see different demographics. Data from 2022 indicated that English learners had a 67% graduation rate, while students with disabilities had a 64% graduation rate, indicating higher dropout risks. Mm. So technically, the dropout rate ain't that bad. From now, when I was talking to people before, it made it seem like the dropout rate was pretty high. But I do know that there are some difficulties. Like if anybody's from New York in this chat, I've heard how y'all got to take what is it, like some state test, and you got to pass quite a bit of that. And if you fail, it's like you just got to repeat the same thing, like some crazy work. I'm like, ooh, boy, that's wild. That is wild. But yeah. Wait, Chris said, "Now that's a fact. Massachusetts too. The high school courses are advanced." Yeah, it's like, I did not even understand. I just thought, just normally getting credits was tough. The amount of stuff that the amount of tests that they gotta do just to even pass, man, that is wild. That is wild. Like I said, I don't even know why New York is even like that, because it's like you just got to have a normal job, realistically. Technically, not have a normal job. You got to have about 2 to 3 jobs to work there, on top of having family or friends or somebody else living with you, in order to basically live and survive there. Like New York is not built for a if you solo, it is not built for you unless you got some wealth. Unless you making a nice 100K and you don't got no dependents. Other than that, yeah, it's not it. That is not it. Tippy said, overall, yo, what is up, Tippy? Said, overall, wherever you go as a Black American, you have to deal with racism, move differently because you're an outsider. You have to adopt with a new way of living and deal with their country's laws. That is facts. That is facts, aka Tippy Co. Because I saw your picture up there, of the bottles that you got up there. So next, let's go to this brother here and hear what he has to state. Shout out to Tanya McCoy. What is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation.
Left Wells Fargo Bank. The teller was Latino, and the teller next to her was Latino. And they began to speak Spanish in regards to the business transaction I was conducting. Now, that's unprofessional and it's inappropriate. Now, I'm not one of those people who say, hey, you live in America, you need to speak English. But there is a time when You speaking Spanish is inappropriate, unprofessional, and disrespectful. And anytime if there's a business transaction going on, it doesn't matter if it's at Wells Fargo or Family Dollar. You speaking Spanish, you are being disrespectful. And if I would have been a white person, because you know how they get, and I would have went in about it and said, hey, this is America, speak English, they would have wanted to pull their phones out and play victim. Do better. Do better. You know English, speak English at the appropriate times. Be professional. Like I said, I don't care when you speak in your language. You could be in the line with me. I don't care if you talk about me or not. But when conducting business, you a cashier, you a bank teller, yo, speak English. Don't be disrespectful.
And he said it real simple. And he is 100% correct. I've seen this time and time again where you want to, let's say like you're ordering something and you having a conversation directly with them, and then out of nowhere, one of the coworkers, they just automatically start speaking Spanish. I'm like, but didn't I just hear you speaking English just a minute ago when you were just at the drive-through window? And then when you're coming to him in front of me as I'm trying to conduct my order, you want to automatically, y'all want to start language switching. I'm like, nah, brother, nah. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm like, realistically, if it's something that you got to say in a different language, then maybe you shouldn't be saying it. Maybe you should just wait at a different time or talk about it later. If you got a language switch, yeah, like I said, as he stated before, it's immensely disrespectful. Because if I decided to sit up there and do that directly to folks and they didn't know English, like let's say I knew their language, but then somebody else that I was talking to spoke just like English, and I was just doing that directly in front of them, that would make people feel a certain type of way. Because I noticed due to the fact that I have videos just like that. And I've talked about that before because we had stuff like this happening during the pandemic and before the pandemic. And a variety of people have felt different types of ways when things like that specifically happen. Again, if you're in a country where you speak English, everybody here speaks English. It should just be there. Like I said, if I go to any other country, I would at least need to learn respectfully. I would need to learn a little bit of the language there, or at least be proficient, right? Nobody's going to sit up there and be like, I know we're just going to sit up there and learn, English because you're here in our country. Nah, no. It's the reverse. I go there, they learn what it is. I learn what it is that they speak. They come here, they learn what it is that we speak. It shouldn't be no whole thing. Realistically, we shouldn't actually be at the point where anybody in America has to learn other languages because other people are just here speaking stuff. Like that's crazy to me. I'm just gonna be real. I don't care how that sounds. People can call me xenophobic or whatnot, whatever. All I know is at the end of the day, other folks, if I go to their country, they're not about to sit up there and try to learn English because I'm speaking it. They could care less. They do not care nothing about that. They not trying to, like I said, no matter. America's only, the only area of which that we got this problem. That's the only place. Like I said, Resistance, what is up? You said call cell phone, keep coming translation open on your phone so you know what they're saying and record them and take it home and translate it. Oh no. You technically you don't even have to. Now trust me, I know what you're saying. You don't even have to go to that extent. They have other devices out here. They got meta glasses. They have different type of wearable devices, earpieces and things like that where you could just have that and it'll translate for you. Like I said, there's a lot of devices out there where it translates, I think, well over 30 to 40 or 50 different languages. So people can just easily pick those up and add it on to what you said before about recording. People can pick up those devices and more than likely record specifically from those devices. Tippy said, be right back. This woman always leaving somewhere. I swear to goodness. Somebody said the issue with F.B.A.s is that FBAs that are xenophobic and pushing a supreme agenda talking points. Huh? I'm just trying to I need you to be specific on that one. Like what specifically do you mean? Like what agendas are FBAs pushing? Need somebody to let me know. What specifically are those agendas? Cuz I'm a little bit confused on that one because so what are the supremacist talking points? Let me know what those talking points are. I need you to be very specific. Because we're not out there sitting up there saying, no, it's going to be white now, white today, and white forever. We're not sitting up there saying nothing like that. I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking about. Because, like I said, I've been on these internet streets for a while, and I always hear people always trying to say that, oh, the blacks out here, they're racist, and I'm like, so what do you mean by that? what do you mean by that? So you said the replacement theory. So let me get this straight. So you're telling me that Black Americans are not being displaced in their communities? Let me let, I'm a little bit confused. So Black Americans are basically saying that if we make a stand, what inevitably ends up happening because they can't control what it is that we're doing, they will bring in other people in order to do just that, which is replacing, correct? Right. So you said the main racist talking point that Black Americans have is the whole thing of Black immigrants are here to replace FBAs. Um, you said Black immigrants make up less than 1% of the population. Okay. So when I go over the fact that you have individuals coming directly to the United States, and at least in one video where a Black man was speaking for another Black man, and he was talking about how the Black man worked for 13 years and how the Ethiopians and the Somalians went directly to the white supervisor trying to get that Black man fired. What would that then mean? A Black American male holding that job for 13 years. He's in good terms with his white supervisor, no problems. But supernaturally, these Somalis, these Africans come directly over there and they want to cause problems and issues. What would that then mean? Wouldn't that mean that they're trying to replace that Black American to take his position? I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just trying to figure out. When Black Americans specifically speak on what it is historically that we have gone through in the United States, and then Black immigrants come out of nowhere, be like, "Oh well, Black Americans, we hear what you're talking about, but realistically, what you faced is not just specifically your story; it's all of our stories." What would you call that? Because we're not looking for anybody to add themselves directly into our stories, into our narratives, and into what it is that we know, our history, right? What would you call that when another group of people want to pretty much be the spear or on top of that history? That's just what I'm trying to figure out. Right? So when we go in, you said Black immigrant population numbers are tiny. Latino and Asian immigrants actually have the numbers. So let me just make this a fair point, because if people like to say that I hate people, I would love for people to just say that I hate everybody, right? All of those groups that you listed, all don't really mess with Black Americans. I think that that's pretty much fair to say. I think that that's pretty fair to say, right? And we've talked about this before. Now, when it deals with the Africans, it's a very specific thing where it's the amount of disrespect. When it deals with the Africans and the Caribbeans, it's dealing with the disrespect, right? Like I said, growing up, I knew of Busta Rhymes. I didn't know that he was West Indian. Didn't know that at all. He didn't really start praising the fact that he was West Indian up until he really made it, and he was a legend. Just like a lot of other folks directly out here. And these are the exact same folks that Black Americans have allowed directly into their culture and taking them directly in, because obviously people back home wasn't trying to take them in. Obviously people back home wasn't trying to make them a celebrity, wasn't trying to make them multimillionaires. They weren't pedestalizing, these folks, because if they were, they wouldn't be here. But then all of a sudden, the moment in time, like a Fat Joe and many others directly out here, the moment in time that they start making it, this is when they want to start changing the narrative. Now, instead of hip hop and rap being a Black American thing that came directly from us, it stemmed from, soul, rock and roll, and all this other type of stuff. Now everybody else want to be like, oh no, actually, rap and hip hop, that comes directly from Africa. Oh, Black Americans, you see how you dance? That actually comes directly from us Africans. Oh, the soul food that you got? Oh yeah, that comes directly from Africa. You see how that works? You see how people want to just take what it is that you created? They want to try to lay hands on it. They want to try to lay claim on it when they can't even claim anything back in their homeland. That's a wild work. You said that you knew Busta Rhymes was Caribbean when he was the leader of the. See, like I said before, you're old enough, right? You got a lot of other folks out here that were just looking at the person, right? And they were just looking at the artist. They weren't trying to. I'm not about to read any articles and source and all this. They weren't trying to do that. They were just looking at the artist and maybe catching some interviews if they had it on VH1, MTV, BET, stuff like that. Now that we got the internet where it is at this moment in time, you can really start to see who a lot of these folks directly are. And again, that's the problem, right? It was good enough for them to be quote unquote, Black American or whatnot when they were just up and coming, when they were trying to make it, when they're trying to get their millions and selling the records. Now, once they solidify themselves, now they can relax and be like, oh yeah, I'm West Indian in the house. Oh, I'm Haitian in the house. Now everybody want to start, gang banging. Everybody want to start waving their flags. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, I thought we were all the same. I thought we were all on the same team. But I guess we're not, because everybody want to start waving their flags. Like I said, like it's like that's for me. When I look at that, I'm looking at individuals trying to replace Black Americans and take over the narrative and take over the history, take over what it is that we created. Just saying. Like that's some wild work. Like I said, no other country out here, no other group of people. I put it to you like this: no Africans out here would ever allow me to start talking, being in their country, right? Being in their towns or their villages, and to start negatively talking about them online. They would come see me where I live. They would find me real quick. They would have machetes. They would have torches. It would be a whole conversation. Right. And we know this. You can go to many other countries. It would be that exact same. Try that with the Hawaiians. I dare you try that with the Hawaiians. Try to sit up there and go over there to Hawaii, talk badly about the Hawaiian people, and think that you're going to be walking out unscathed, thinking that you're going to be able to be disrespectful, trying to lay claim to whatever it is that they created directly over there. You're not going to be able to do it. But when it deals with Black Americans, everybody want to come to Black Americans and be like, "Oh, well, you Black Americans, you guys are xenophobic, you guys are this and you guys are that, you just anti-immigrant and all this other." No, we are against people trying to lie on us. We're against people trying to steal and take from us, because that's all we've ever known and seen. Ever since that we have been here on this planet, on this plane of existence, we've always known people stealing from us. and we never get the credit that we deserve. In a moment in time that we look to people, we point to people like, yo, actually that's ours, like, yo, give us our credit. People want to look at us like we're weird. People want to act like we're the problem. People want to act like, oh, since we're asking for our credit, now we're trying to get violent. Now we're trying to cause a problem in the situation. Now we're trying to fight people. And that's not it. We're having a conversation telling you like, hey, what you picked up is actually ours. Respect it and give us our credit. It's cool if you want to be a part of it or whatnot, but just know that you are a guest here. Don't think that you're about to take over nothing. And this is when people start having problems. That's crazy to me. That is wild. That is 100% wild. Diabolical. Diabolical. But it'd be like that though. It'd be like that. Like I said, we got too many Africans over here cosplaying as Black Americans. That's all I'm saying. Somebody got to make that make sense, right? You got folks over here trying to claim what it is that Black Americans have gone through. How does that even make sense? You're African. How can you lay any claims to anything? You can't. how do you say that you got a history here? You can't. You don't. You just literally got here. You and your mom and your dad. You just literally got here. You don't got no history here. You got a clean slate. What are we talking about? Like I said, look at the Somalians. That's crazy. You got young Somalians over here talking like Black Americans, dressing like Black Americans, acting like Black Americans. Where they do that at? That's crazy to me. Just like you got the UK, the Black Brits over there in the UK, they claim that the fashion that we wear in Black America, urban wear styling, they claim that they're the ones that came up with it and invented it. Woo! Diabolical. That's some wild work. How do you sit up there and claim the stylings of Black Americans yonder across the pond? Huh? Who does that? That's wild. How do you do that? How do you do that? That's some wild work. Wild work. Let me just hold on. Right. Where's my hold on. I don't know what's going on there. Now I gotta get off my what's the name? All right. Now you said now this video ain't gonna be edited. I don't even care because you said that you wanted me to basically prove a point, right? No problem. I got you. It's gonna be very simple. I'm gonna try to make sure that the video is muted, so there's no type of what's the name? No music directly to it because you want to know who are these Africans? Where are they at? That's cosplaying, right? I got you. Hold my beer. So I got you right up here. So I'm replying directly to Kid, right? So this is what you wanted to see. I can't specifically. I could give you some names given some time, but I'm just gonna put this up there.
Americans,
Right. Right. So I'm just let me know, Kid. Explain this to me, right? They're on the land. They're on the land. This don't look African to me. Explain to me what is African about everything that he's wearing. Explain that to me. Explain to me what's African about this, right? You got the beanie on. It seems like he might got some zirconias directly in his ears. He got his ears pierced, right? He got the dog tags. He got the tee on. He got the shorts. He got the Timbs. Why in the world would Africans be wearing Timbs? Huh? That don't even make sense. Like what we like, icon wise, if people think about Tim's, they're going to associate that with the East Coast, preferably New York. People are going to associate that with those out there in New York, because you would primarily see a lot of New York dudes, wearing Tim's. Yo, kid, I'm waiting for you. I need you to explain this to me. Why do I see a lot of Black Americanness here? We're not talking about this is where y'all want to switch the argument. When we talk about Black American wear and culture, we're talking about the things we literally made famous, where everybody else wants to style and dress just like that. In general, let me just put it to a better sense. When people think about Jordans, they think about Michael Jordan. So again, yeah, Nike produced the shoes. Jordan is the one that made him famous because his name is directly on there. So famous, in fact, that he was actually banned from wearing his own shoes in the NBA. Color me surprised directly on that. And you know what happened with those shoes? Those shoes blew up and everybody wanted to buy and everybody wanted to wear them. And this is why we have the sneaker culture that we currently have at this moment in time. We're talking about culturally the aesthetics. We're talking about the things that we have popularized, the things that when people think about Black Americans, like, okay, I know how to style myself. I know what to sit up there and wear. I know what to sit up there and put on. I know how to walk, talk, and act. Like, it's crazy to me whenever we talk about and have these conversations, y'all then want to start moving the argument like, oh, well, listen me, those Black American companies. We didn't say that those companies were Black American. We never did. We could say that we popularized those things like Air Force Ones. Air Force Ones have been around for eons, right? Everybody knew those as what, pill slippers or whatever it is that people want to call it. But who popularized those shoes? Who popularized them? Black Americans. Specifically Nelly. Got me stumping them my Air Force Ones. Stumping them my Air Force Ones. Like I said, just like the same thing with tees. Back during the 2000s, you had the white tee, blue tee, brown tee, pink tee, green tee. we literally popularize a lot of things. We make it a part of our culture. And because Black Americans have the Midas touch, we're able to do that. You know, the craziest part is the craziest part. Look at this. Hold on. Let me go back. Did I not just see an African wearing an LA hat? Where in Africa is LA? Excuse me, kid. Where in Africa? I see a lot of African kids here dressed as Black Americans. Makes no sense. It makes no sense. You asking a lot of questions, and I know you're not Black American. Like, you're missing the point that was made on purpose. You're missing a point on purpose. Like, that is wild to me. Like I said before, I need you because obviously you're not Black American. Let me know where is LA in Africa? Like, if you're going to wear a 50-50 cap, wouldn't you have like one of your countries on there? Like, wouldn't you have where you're from, like Nigeria, Libya, Ethiopia, Kenya? Like, wouldn't you do that? Why are you wearing one of the 50? What are we doing? What are you doing? Like, how are we doing that? That's crazy to me. That's weird to me. Like I said, people that's supposed to be so proud. Look at that. What are we doing? Let me go back real quick. Brother, what? What is this? And now that's how I know you trolling. But like I said, I love it because it just further proves my point. Like I said, shout out to the trolls. Like I said, the only one that's dressed African in here is the mother right here. She's the only one that is, just being like as is. Everybody else is acting as though that they're just like Black American. They coming up here with like some whole Black American handshakes you would see in the hood. What's this, brother? What? Yo, what? That's crazy. Really think they doing something? That's crazy. And a man running a filter, brother. Hold on, nah, brother, nah. You know what? Nah, brother. Brother, how you? This man walking around with a pretty girl filter. I ain't never seen this in my life. Where they do that at Africa? What's happening? Kid, ain't this one of your people? This is your man's though, right? This is your man's though, right? That's wild. That's why that dude got the biggest grin when he was next to his guys. Had the whole pretty filter. It was all glitching. That man was sitting up there trying to look all shining, trying to look at that. Look at that. You see how happy he is? You see how happy he is when he's styled as a Black American? Because he ashamed of his own culture, of his own people. He ashamed of his own garbs. Oh man. Oh man, that man is 2 snaps away from a catwalk. Let me tell you something. Yo, that is wild. That is wild. Like I said, kid, these are your folks. You got it. you got it. You got it. This man is like, did Black Americans invent filters? You can have that. You want to fight for the hey, you got it. You got that one. Hey, you can have all of that. Let me tell you something. I don't want no parts of that. You got it. Yo, that is wild. That is wild. That is crazy. So let me just see this. Let me try if before I even put this directly up there. Let me just try to find the what's the name? Let me see. Where is she specifically from? Because kid said like where's some of these folks? Let me see some. Because people are up here saying that this woman I'm looking at right now is not even Black American. Ah. So she originally had a flag directly in her bio. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not? So let me just put this together real quick. I love when people do that. That's real cute. And this is why I be saying the stuff that I be saying, because you got a lot of these clowns out here that be pulling up to the scene and not being honest. Right. So let me put that directly right there. And then underneath that, we're gonna have that one there. What was the quote that she had directly up there talking about Black men? Yeah. Yeah, I could put that at the bottom. It don't matter. You're gonna see her face anyway, so it don't even matter. because, like I said, it gets real cute. Like I said, I love the trolls. They just further proof points. So when we look, let me just play the rest of this. I don't think there's nothing else there. That filter, that's crazy. That is, it's diabolical, brother. But like I said, y'all got it. So when we look directly at this woman here, we got these cosplayers, and this is something that I specifically, stated to folks directly out here, right? Where you got this woman here, she wants to say like, nah, she just hates black men, right? And she made a post. She got a lot of other posts directly up there, which are even crazier. She said, the more of us, not even spelling correctly, the more of us black women have babies outside of our race, the less black men that the world will have. That also means the less you there will be as well too. But anyways, minus the ignorance and the dumbness directly out there. If you look at the very bottom, she had a flag directly in her bio. If you look above to how she has her profile now, you don't see the flag. And you have to question, why is that? You want to say stuff about black men. We know you're just talking about black American men. You're not talking about African men because you would have said that. But you want to magically take the flag out of your bio and you want to start writing all this stuff and talking about, black men. Crazy work. Diabolical. Again, that's a cosplayer. That is a cosplayer for kid. Unless they done packed them on up, which is possible. I know. It'd be like that. And this is why I specifically told a lot of black women out here, you got to be very careful, the folks that you decide to listen directly to, because a lot of these women, they're not even about or even for you. They're trying to get you up out of here too, because they know that if you start having children with men of other groups, that within a few generations, you're not going to, whatever you considered to be black, it ain't going to be black. Like I said, wasn't it case point example, Diana Ross and her family? And I didn't even know that looking at Diana Ross's family. I'm like, whoo. I'm like, that's crazy. That is diabolical. That is crazy. That is diabolical at this moment in time. But like I say, you can't tell nobody. You got folks, that always want to pull directly up to the scene. And, they want to formulate some problems and some issues. And when you directly give a response, they want to now start moving the goalposts. But like, well, do black Americans own this? Do they have that? Did they actually create this? Do they have ownership of this? It's not even about none of that. It's about the people that are popularizing it to the point where it's in mainstream, where the whole world wants to emulate it. You didn't have other people out here that wore a lot of the things that I've talked about and referred to, but they don't got the Midas touch to make it so that everybody else wants to take parts directly of it. Still to this day, you got people on other continents, rocking Air Force Ones and Jordans because of the effect of black Americans. You can put, whatever white folks in some shoes or whatnot, whatever. Everybody ain't about to be trying to pop up wearing those. It's just, like everybody, that's them. But the moment in time you start seeing black American style and wear them, and we out there with them, and we got the type of confidence, swag and all this other type of stuff is different. Like I said, it's crazy work though. Folks don't want to listen though. But like I said, this is just another thing right here for a lot of black women out there. Y'all gotta pay very close attention to the folks out there who are trying to imitate you or trying to make you believe a certain type of thing because they understand and they play directly on the division directly out there. That also goes back to what I said before, where the previous guy before a kid wanted to talk about the whole thing of like, oh, F.B.A, they're so divisive and they're anti-African and all this other type of stuff, and y'all believe that people are trying to replace y'all and da 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 da. There's a variety of things that people can do in order to quote unquote minimize a group, to make sure that it is less of them. One way is by people playing these types of mind games and betting directly on the division because they know that in the long run it's going to benefit them. Because the less black Americans that are being born that are here in America means the more of them that can pull up to the scene and basically represent what is Black American culture, history. Like I said, did we not just see this with the Essence Festival? We saw how that went, right? That did not go as planned for those folks. Did not go as planned. But you can't tell nobody nothing. You can't tell nobody nothing. Can't tell nobody nothing. Yo, Trees, what is up? What is up? What is up? What is going on? Yo, Barb, what is up? You said it's so weird. Hold on, let me go back up. You said it's so weird that they deny the influence. You can literally just ask AI. Yeah, and I think I might have went over that in the previous live stream. But you know, the funniest thing is, the craziest part is, no matter the information that you decide to give directly to people, people will still deny it. They will move the goalpost and they'll just ignore it. Like I said, it's crazy out here. That's 100% crazy, but it be like that. Barb said, divide and conquer. They're using war tactics. Yeah. Yo, Juke, what is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. Bruce says, so this lady is trying to keep the black race black, just like the wait, what? He said just like the white supremacists want to keep. No, that's not what she was saying. that's not what the woman that was posted. Let me go back to the image real quick. That's not what she was saying. That's not what she was saying at all. You gotta. I need people to pay attention to the very top part of the screen where she says that she just hates black men. I need people to pay attention. So then once you read that, you understand what the comment that she made that I captured that is on the center of your screen basically means. At no point in time does this one here have any type of love for black men at all, or for black Americans. Don't care. You know, like I said, it's great. And the other thing too is that a lot of them, shout out to Sham for mentioning that too. A lot of the folks out here like this, they profit off of the division. They profit off of the whole thing of black women hating or loathing black men. They will make tons and tons of content. And I told people before, even to the extent where you have women who are lesbians that have no interest. And I showcased a video like that before. You got lesbians out here, and I don't know where they're from. I know they're melanated, but I can't specifically tell you where it is that they're from. They will make content trying to speak directly to heterosexual black women, speaking on straight topics and relationships, again, while being a lesbian, and bad mouthing and talking about black men of which they have no interest in. Like, nobody sees how that's a problem, how that makes no sense. If you have no interest in black men, no interest in men in general, you shouldn't even be making videos about black men at all. You should be only talking about things dealing with women. That's it. Women relationships, women things going on with women within those communities. Like, you shouldn't even, you know. But you know, that's the type of realm that we're currently in at this moment in time. And again, it's the most profitable. It's the most profitable because you got folks out here, they can make money whenever you say something negative about black men. That's just how it works. It's one of the most profitable things directly out here. This is why you got fields of women out here doing it, you know, and especially women of other countries, right? So let's move on from this and go to the next video.
Please hear me as I say this, and I'm gonna say this, and just know this is not an open door to make xenophobic comments in my comment section. I have blocked and will continue to block people that do that. But listen to what I'm saying, please. I get comments like this a lot from people who have flags in their bios in addition to an American flag. So what you're saying is that we are all black people. If we are all black people under the umbrella of Black American, then why do you have these different flags in your bio? Because you are also wanting to attach yourself to the identity and culture of these different countries, right? I need y'all to understand that what these people that are clinging or not clinging, that are being drawn to the F.B.A. movement, they are doing the same thing. They are essentially putting a flag in their bio and wanting to attach themselves to the history, culture of this ethnic group, which sometimes gets lost under the umbrella of blackness in America. America was like, okay, y'all all black. Okay, we have new immigrants, y'all all black. And what you see are black people who are the descendants of enslaved people trying to point out that distinction. I hope that makes sense. But whenever, I kid you not, it's always people that have flags in their bios that are saying this. And I'm like, you have so much pride in your country of origin, your ethnic group. Why don't you understand that that is at the heart of what these people are talking about? And so I always caution people from being too dismissive of this movement, because a core piece of this movement, the xenophobia, immigration aside, is wanting to highlight and show pride in the Black American ethnic group. And I think some people that have come here in later generations, they feel frustrated because they feel like they are a part of that as well. And they are. I'm not saying they're not. But you have to recognize this distinction, this history. There's a portion of history in America that is not shared amongst all Black people. We have to acknowledge that. There's a portion of history that's not shared amongst all Black people. However, you come here and oftentimes you carry the weight of that history, even if you just got here, because America doesn't always make those distinctions. They're just learning them, as we see in the Tucker Carlson video, which is dangerous. But again, I need you all to understand the same pride that you have that leads you to put this flag in your bio, that is what they're seeking. And they want the same kind of respect for that. And so y'all get a little too comfortable in my comments. Like, I'm like, wait a minute now. I don't think it's always fair to have these broad strokes about this movement. I mean, I said it at brunch today with one of my friends who's from Louisiana. And she's like, listen, I'm a proud foundational Black American. She's not going to sit up here and say xenophobic things or anything like that. That's not her thing. But she aligns with that because of the rooted history that she has in this country. And I think that when y'all make comments like this, you're dismissing that part, which is so important. So important.
Yep. And there you have it. Again, you got a lot of these folks from other places. They be, gang banging with their flags all over the internet. And I remember, the funniest thing is, I remember before the whole situation dealing with like the government and ICE and everything of that nature, I remember seeing so many folks out there so proud. They like some of these folks that have like 7 different flags in their bios. And I'm like, how do you got so many flags? I'm like, do you got like, a passport or something? Like, do you got dual citizenship to like all of these places? I'm like, I ain't never seen that before in my life. Like, it is wild. And then when everything started falling apart, all of those flags started disappearing. I'm like, that's weird. That's very much weird. And then people started just saying that, they're from America, or they're from this and they're from that. I'm like, that's a bit weird, because I'm like, that's not what you were saying before. That's not what that flag was representing. You were everywhere else around the world. You were just like Pitbull, worldwide. You were everywhere. You weren't America. But then all of a sudden, people wanted to, try to play around and try to make it seem like they're American, or this, that, and the third, and all this other type of stuff. And then when it went to the furthest extent, where Elon did an update on X, where it specifically told people where it is that these people are from, you found out that a lot of these people, all of them, were pretty much foreigners, especially the ones that want to cause, negative interactions between Black folks and the Black community. And I'm like, color me surprised. The same people telling Black people that we all need to come together are the exact same ones going online and, starting fights, saying this and saying that, making sure to say something negative about Black men, so that, Black men and women will always be online arguing and not focused and on this and on that and all this other type of stuff. Crazy work. And then those are the same ones that turn around and want to play victim. That's wild. Diabolical. 100% diabolical. Another thing that I do want to list, because I've talked about this before, but this is another video. I think it's a little bit longer here. It's going to go over the whole thing dealing with the DNA test, right? So let's just take a look at that. Let me go to the yeah, here we go.
Of identical twins, 5 DNA ancestry tests. What? I have French and German. Oh, I don't have that. 5 different sets of results?
we strongly think that you and your sister should get the same report.
I don't want to be a buzzkill, but I don't think it's entirely accurate.
23andme.com, you can find out your percentages of DNA from 31 populations around the world.
What do you think about the messages that are being sent to consumers?
I think it's misleading. These companies are really trying to push the idea that this is scientific, right? They are using scientific language and they present it in a way that looks very sciencey and precise.
Caulfield says what people are really buying is entertainment.
I think it's recreational science. They can have a little bit of fun with this stuff. Don't take it too seriously, but know that you are just getting some information that is an approximation of how your DNA compares to other people. It's not tracing back your heritage.
So again, somebody got to explain to me, how can two identical twins look the exact same, face, nose, hair, all of that, right? How they get two different samples? That don't make no sense. That's weird. That's very much odd. And a lot of people, be telling folks, hey, put all of your stock into a lot of these, these DNA tests and yada 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 and all this other type of stuff. Like, this is my thing. If you're trying to do a DNA test and it deals with like the family tree and stuff, I get that. I understand that one. That's cool. Now, again, this is about the umpteenth video that I done seen where folks are out here sitting up there saying like, yeah, those 23andMe and all this other type of stuff. It's like, yeah, that stuff is just for fun. It's just entertainment. It's not nothing real. And then on top of the fact, bringing up the 23andMe, they also, I did a video a few years back where there were lawsuits and different things happening because, information was stolen from the database and, all these other types of things was happening. People had other videos where they took a swab of a pet, like a lizard or something like that, and they sent it in the mail and they were pretty much getting the same results that you would get from humans. It was like, it was crazy. It was it was crazy. So this is why you can't put a lot of stock in in a lot of things. This is why paperwork and doing things other ways are a necessity. Because you have a lot of Africans be like, oh yeah, Black Americans. You have a lot of these other immigrants out there. Oh yeah, Black Americans, go take a DNA test and watch what it comes back as. Da, 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 da. I mean, yeah, we can take a DNA test, but that doesn't mean that it's real. That doesn't mean that it's 100%. Like what are we talking about? Am I going to take the word of you, or am I going to take the word of them directly up here, who are the ones that pretty much manufactured it and made this? I'm going to listen directly to them. Like, yo, that's crazy. Yo, that is 100% crazy. Let me tell you something. And then we got another one directly up here. I think, did I have to do an edit for this? I don't think I did, but let me go directly to it. Again, staying on the whole thing. Maybe I didn't do the edit specifically for it. Oh, but let me just put this one up there, right? So before we play, because I had to do it before we get directly into it, right? Let me just take my image directly down and let me try to zoom it out just a little bit. And I got to zoom it in for myself. It says that news, right? Latinas for Trump co-founder Liana Garcia begs Trump to stop the ICE raids, right? And this is just a little snippet. At the bottom, it says a Transportation Security Administration officer at the Tallahassee airport overheard her speaking Spanish and asked where Ms. Garcia, who is born in Miami, was an American citizen. She was worried for the first time the Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents might stop her son, a young adult, because he looks Hispanic. So now that we read that, let's just go into the most legendary song to ever exist.
I will vote. Arriba. I will vote for Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. The people go out to vote, no fear no more. Vote for Trump. Let's go.
my two-step right now. Let me tell you. I can't even see it.
Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump.
Hey, I'm telling I swear to you that is a song that should forever go down in history like it's one of the greatest songs. I kid you not. I want that up there with the Macarena. I kid you not. Like that song is catchy. It got a beat. It got a tune. You can sit up there and do a little two-step. I walk into a bodega, and getting a chopped cheese. Kid you not. Great song. Great song. I love it. Every single time. I'll be playing that from now until the end of time. If I ever feel sad, I'll just put the song directly on to perk myself right back up. Yo, let me tell you something. Jerry said, yo, this is just funny. Yeah, it is. It is. Yo, let me tell you. Wait, Chris, who you talking about? Let me see. Wait, D Love said, Lordy, forgive me, said you. It'd be like that. It'd be like this. It's a great song. Let me tell you, it is a great song. Yo, third, what is up? You said the buyer's remorse in the Latino community must be biblical at scale. It is. It is. It 100% is. What is it? Miss Shamika Smith, what is up? What is up? You said, God bless America and the great Donald Trump. Oh man, yo, that is crazy. That is crazy. Yo, that is wild. This man said every time I hear that song, I fall out of the tree. Yo, that's wild. Yo, that is wild. Oh my goodness. Sham was like, see, this is how we know racism is taught. They got a baby singing it too. It'd be like that. It'd be like that. Like I said, people will learn and and understand what transpired, and hopefully people will get better. Hopefully people will get better. Now let's go back to the F.B.A. conversation. Let's take a look at this young Candace Owens here.
F.B.A. really cared about the descendant of American slavery group of people, then they would just make those scholarships that they were saying that black immigrants are taking from us and apply them and give them only to descendants of American slaves. But they're not doing anything like that. They're not creating nonprofits and putting that money towards specifically descendants of American slavery. They're too busy trying to get the rest of us to jump onto that xenophobic, divisive bandwagon. Literally, there doesn't need to be a move away from African American. If you want to do that, then do that on your own terms. Oh, reparations. Then call for reparations within your local community and say you want them applied to descendants of American slavery, but make sure you have a way in which it's only going to benefit you and not the other black immigrants. So since, I'd rather have nothing than to let the black immigrants have it too. Just grifters, pseudo blacks.
Hold on, I got y'all. We it seems that the young Candace Owens does not really have the voice yet. So what I have to do is let me just go in the background real quick and upload that. It shouldn't even take that long. I'm going to put some quick captions directly to this real quick. And I will also increase the volume. I mean, usually when I get these videos, the volume, it sounds all right. Even to me, it sounded pretty low. I guess on the platform that it was on, it was louder, but I got you, no problem. This is why I normally take my time to edit videos and make sure that they're fine. Because we'll have, issues and problems like this. But it happens. It happens. Don't worry, I got y'all. Let me see, make sure. I don't know why I don't feel like correcting it. I'm just gonna be lazy, and it's going to say F.B.A., but I'm just gonna leave it as such. It's whatever. Let me go to the actual volume here, and we're gonna put that up. Oh, it's a little bit too loud. Let me just roll that back. Damn, it still sounds like it got like a little bit of let me see if I can reduce the noise. Let me see if I can reduce the noise and isolate the voice just a little bit. Let me see if I can do it. Because turning it up, it just starts sounding a little bit crazy. So it's going to take me a quick second. Because I heard the video, but my memory is a little bit shot right now because I think we've been going for about like a good 3 hours. All I can safely hear in my head is that I will vote for Donald Trump. All right. So, matter of fact, so what we're going to do here is because she has a lot of foreheadage. I'm just going to put this directly on the forehead. That's what we're going to do right there. All right. So the captions I placed on the forehead, so we'll be able to read those and see everything that she's thinking as she proceeds to talk about foundational Black Americans and how we are incapable of doing anything, which is wild. It's wild when these folks want to come out the blue. Like I said, whose kids are these? Y'all need to start raising y'all kids better. Let me tell you the amount of disrespect. Like I said, the moment of time that the kids start talking like this, I already know what the family and the parents are. I already know what it is. Right? So let me just remove this one. Let me take that one directly down. Somebody said I was petty. It'd be like that. People want to be disrespectful. We can be disrespectful right back. They're lucky I don't have Photoshop. I would have made sure that those words would have been scrolling across that forehead real quick.
If F.B.A. really cared about the descendant of American slavery group of people, then they would just make those scholarships that they were saying that Black immigrants are taking from us and apply them and give them only to descendants of American slaves. But they're not doing anything like that. They're not creating nonprofits and putting that money towards specifically descendants of American slavery. They're too busy trying to get the rest of us to jump onto that xenophobic, divisive bandwagon. Literally, there doesn't need to be a move away from African American. If you want to do that, then do that on your own terms. Oh, reparations. Then call for reparations within your local community and say you want them applied to descendants of American slavery, but make sure you have a way in which it's only going to benefit you and not the other Black immigrants. So since, I'd rather have nothing than to let the Black immigrants have it too. Descriptors, pseudo-Blacks.
I need whatever white man out there, please come pick up your queen. I need you to come do that. There is no way in God's existence that she would ever be for any Black men directly out here, even for men of her own community. Whatever white men are out here, I need you to come pick her up. Just take her away. Take her to the double G lane and just have a way. Just have a way. Just keep her directly over there. Keep her chained and shackled directly in the dog cages like y'all normally like to do up over there. Keep her directly over there. This is why I be sitting up here saying that we don't have no room for stuff like this. Because I can hear in her voice that she would also the exact same disdain that she has for either the terminology F.B.A. or for the people that are directly in a line with it. She would have the exact same sentiments, if not far worse, when it deals with Black men. I can already hear it. It's right. It's on her face. I can see it. And it's crazy because she is so young. Like I said, white dudes, come get her. Y'all got this. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Man, oh man. Lord have mercy. Like this is ridiculous. This is 100% ridiculous. I need her to go over to that conservative plantation right now, where they like to do all the race play and everything of the sort. She is the next. She's trying to be in the running for the next Candace Owens. She is just trying to be there. She's. I promise you, give her a few more years. You're gonna see her up there with a mixed kid and with a white dude. I promise you. I kid you not. 100%. I promise you. I bet $2. I bet $2. 100%. I bet $2. Man, dear Lord, it. It's a lot of stuff I want to say, but I got to make sure to just monitor myself. Just got to make sure to monitor myself. Yeah, you got to remind yourself. That's somebody's daughter. Somebody's child. So I'm not going to go 100%. But I do want the white boys. I gotta start sounding like Porky Big. I be. I do want those white boys to come pick her up though. That is 100%, 1,000% wild, dog. Jesus Christ! Like, dog, why is it that all of y'all are so focused on the monies of Black America? Like, y'all always out here pocket watching. We ain't really pocket watching y'all up until the Christian Children's Fund came up, and we understood that we got to give you like 10 to 25 cents a day so you can survive, so you can get the mosquitoes directly off your back, so you can get the flies directly out your mouth and off your face, so that you can get a bag of rice. Like, we didn't sit up there and start this. And then it's crazy that you want to be fully here in these United States and you want to talk this way about Black Americans, but 9 times out of 10, you were probably amongst Black Americans at one point in time, looking at how she looks and listening to how she speaks. I know that she is more than likely going towards an all-white institution, pretty much. I'm pretty sure it got to be some like Utah, some Colorado. It got to be somewhere that is far, far, far away from a nice majority of Black Americans being there. It's probably got to be like 1% Black students there, because she has that face. She has the face, and the attitude is just there. And the other part that I know, specifically just looking and listening to her, is that there's a lot of Black women out here that she would be rolling her eyes at, and that she would be looking down upon, and that she would automatically feel that she is better than. That's the other thing too. But like I said, I like to focus on the Black male aspect because, be like that. That's it's the main selling point for for a lot of folks directly out here. So now we got another individual that wants to speak about Black Americans. So let's just take a listen at this. Wait, I didn't do I thought I before I do that, let me just check some real quick. I could have sworn for this video I had the captions for. Oh, no. Matter of fact, I didn't need the captions because they were already there. Okay. So let me put that directly in front of you guys here so we can have a conversation about it.
Okay, so at this point, we have to realize that this whole foundational Black American movement is basically a psyop. Like, y'all are just pushing like right-wing nationalism, and like not even on some actual like Black separatism, some Black nationalism type of perspective. Y'all are pushing this pro-American right-wing bullcrap. Because if you actually read about the Black Panther Party, let's look at the history of the Vietnam War. And Black people, Black men particularly, were disproportionately impacted, right? So it's sort of like the draft being placed there. And the Black Panther Party existed during the Vietnam War. And Huey P. Newton offered Panthers to the Viet Cong to help fight the U.S. aggression, the U.S. occupation. That's including against Black Americans, meaning they had no issue putting down, bootlicking Black Americans. Like, if you study, you can find Eldridge Cleaver working with the Viet Cong, giving speeches, telling them that they should go to the other side because they're going to be on the wrong side of history. This is what the Black Panther it consists of. They've worked with other groups. If you study the Black Panther Party, you study their writings, their history, they didn't have a lot of support initially from the Black American community. because they were deemed very radical and they had a very widened perspective, right? They were able to build alliances with a variety of different groups. That's why they had chapters in places like North Korea, Algeria, right? They had chapters involving issues involving Pan-Africanism, meaning other groups against occupation, against bigotry, right? So like against a variety of different groups. That's why you can find the Black Panther Party visiting China, like following Mao's teachings, mentioned like the Red Book. Different positionings from a variety of different scholars. This is not some like pro American ethnic group, like organization. Y'all are ignorant over established, documented Black American history. So y'all just pushing bigotry. Like this isn't an actual movement of empowering Black people. It's just pushing a lot of low racial self-esteem rhetoric.
Okay. So I'm just gonna put this directly in front of everybody because I decided to look this up myself just to make it easy. He said that the Black Panthers didn't have support from the Black community. They said yes, the Black Panther Party has substantial support within the Black community, particularly in urban areas, driven by their quote survival programs, community self-defense, and advocacy for racial pride. Despite intense FBI repression, they maintained high popularity, with some estimates suggesting that around up to 90% support in major cities during their peak, often providing food, healthcare, and education to underserved residents. So he said that people were ignorant and we didn't understand the fact that the Black Panther Party really didn't have support from the Black community. This is why they had to go to other places first. Huh? That's not what I'm looking at here. That's not what I'm reading right now. Like, excuse me? That's crazy. That is diabolical. That's diabolical. Right? They also stated the Black Panther Party started in 1966 in Oakland, California, founded by Hugh Newton and Bobby Seals, primarily to combat police brutality, systemic oppression against the Black communities, evolving from neighborhood patrols, monitoring police, to broader revolutionary groups fighting for Black liberation through armed self-defense, political education, and community service programs like the free breakfast programs and health clinics. They emerged from frustration with slow progress in civil rights and a need for Black people to control their own destiny, challenging mainstream approaches. Right. So we're just going to put both of those directly together in one image. Because for whatever reason, this guy magically thinks that, like I say, he has his own narrative when it deals with this. And again, it's a little bit weird. It's not even a little bit, it's quite weird when you have folks like this make it seem as though that, Black people don't know nothing about nothing. And that automatically and again, like I told you guys earlier, all of these folks, they speak the exact same way. They say that, oh, F.B.A, if you're F.B.A, you're xenophobic. You have a hatred towards immigrants. You're bigotry, bigotry, racist, all this other type of stuff. And I'm like, where did y'all get this from? And then people trying to swap up the narrative when it deals with the Black Panther Party. They be like, oh yeah, the Black Panther Party was for everybody. That's the whole reason that was here. Yeah, it was for everybody, because everybody was suffering and doing this and doing that and all this other stuff. Where did y'all get y'all information from? Where specifically did y'all get y'all information from? Right? So let's take a look, because I got both of these directly in front of you guys real quick right here. So again, I'm a little bit confused, highly confused. All people got to sit up there and do is just look up, just take 5 seconds and look. I looked it up while he was, as soon as he said it, I typed it directly in. Right, I'm not the fastest typer, but I typed it directly in there, and this is the information, all information. I was able to specifically pull it up. The Black Panther Party was started specifically for the Black community, to protect the Black community, to uphold, to pedestalize, and to push forth the Black community, because those out there felt that, hey, the civil rights movement is moving a little bit too slow. We need some things done now, so we're going to sit up there and do that from our side while y'all over there doing your own thing, right? And then on the whole other scale, we see that the Black Panther Party has support primarily upwards up to the 90 percentile when it deals with the Black community in America. It didn't say that they had 90 percentile when it dealt with Haitians or Jamaicans or those from the islands or those over there in Asia, those over there in Africa. No, they specifically stated in urban areas here in Black America, here in these United States. So again, I don't know what a lot of these folks be out here talking about. And going directly back to this guy right here,
Okay,
like
so
if he's, like I said before, I don't have an issue or a problem with any of these folks when it deals with the situations of what it is that they specifically believe. But if they solely want to be concerned or worried about the things that's happening over in Africa, they should be the ones primarily going up there and working and helping and doing the groundwork, putting in their American dollars in order to uplift those areas, those people. But they're not specifically doing that at all. They get all online to speak specifically to us and to tell us that we're the bad guy, that we're the ones out here that are the distraction. We're the ones out here, that's not moving things forward. We're the ones out here that's not trying to collectively come together with everybody else. But more so specifically, everybody else again was not ever trying to come through and be together with us. People weren't out here trying to formulate a symbiotic relationship and trying to fight the system and do this and do that. Nah, everybody was seeing the sites and trying to see what it is that they can specifically get for them, for their own people. Like I said, this is going back to that whole dude. What was the dude named Kid? This is what I be talking about. Where you got, again, I don't know who he is. I don't know if he's Black American or not. Some people who are from other places, they might be able to see their people directly in him. All I know is at the end of the day, is folks like this that pull up to the scene and they try to rewrite history. It's the same narrative every single time, where you got folks out here that want to sit up there. Oh yeah, Black people, they don't sit up there and do this. We can sit up there when it deals with Black Americans. And I've had conversations, but I've specifically shown certain things to give examples so that people know that, all right, this is point A, this is point B. We're going from 1 to 2. Other people, they'll just generalize when it deals with, realistically, Black Americans didn't even support the Black Panthers. Who told you that? Where did you even get that from? That's like sitting up there saying that Black people didn't sit up there and support the civil rights. That's like saying Black people don't support the Democratic Party. They do. They support all of the things of which I've listed. So the Black Panthers got support, Democrats got support, the civil rights got support, the freedom riders got support, and many other organizations got support. Black people during that time didn't have to go anywhere else in order to get people to support them or for any type of funding. They specifically were able to get that directly from the community. That's crazy. That's 100% crazy how these folks be out here talking every single time, and they be all over social media. And again, this is why I told people before, I ain't the end all to be all when it deals with information. I implore people to go, look up and research so that you got the information specifically, for yourself, just in case of a conversation, happens. You don't have to worry about nobody, trying to tell you like, oh yeah, y'all just listen to those YouTubers or those people online and rah, rah, rah. It's like, no, you did the due diligence. You got the information. You did your research, however you got to sit up and do it. And you can hold that conversation. Because in a lot of instances, people, in order to go beyond the information that you have, even if it's from a YouTuber, they'll be like, oh, well, you just got that from just one person on the internet saying, because they don't want you to be able to use the information. even if it's truthful. It could be 100% truthful, and it could come directly from a book, but they'll try to discredit it real quick. If you, it's a YouTuber. But yeah, when you sit up there, I got this from this book. I sat up there and researched these, 3 to 4 different websites. I sat up there and read this and I read that and all this other. It's a whole different conversation. Now people don't want to have those conversations with you. People move from the conversation to, oh well, who was the source? Who wrote that? Who funds that organization? What countries is behind the scenes that wrote the information, that gave you the information? Like I said, it's people are funny out here. People are very, very funny out here. I promise you. Let me see what we got. Tree said, you said the Young Lords, a Puerto Rico revolutionary organization, was inspired by the Black Panther Party. And the Black Panther Party was for Black Americans. Bars. Straight bars, 100%. But yeah. Anyways, that is pretty much it. We've been going for about a good 2 hours and 45 minutes. Shout out to all the folks that are currently here at this moment, directly in the live stream. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Shout out to any and all of those directly out there who threw any donations directly during the stream. Shout out to Brandon V World. Shout out to J-Lock, Brother Allen. Shout out to Michi49. Shout out to Gail for the 10 jewels as well. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Shout out to any of the members. Shout out to anybody who's a part of the Patreon as well. Shout out to any and all new subscribers as well too, because the numbers have been going up. We are on our way close to hitting 50K directly on this channel. Much love, respect, and appreciation. And I will catch you guys in the next. Oh, also before I go, also much love, respect, and appreciation to all of my moderators as well. Don't want to sit up there and forget my mind is flying on top of going gray at this moment, because I've been up for a minute and I gotta get something to eat. But shout out to our moderators out here, always doing the Lord's work every single time. Shout out also to the regulars, as D Money will say, and shout out to the trolls, aka the real MVPs that pull up, every single live stream, stating nonsense and further, proving my point, right? But anyways, I will catch you guys. I do have a video, I think. Let me go and look real quick. Yeah. Well, no. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to put together a video directly for you guys, and after that, probably go get something to eat. M. Hampton said, later said you in. Thank you. No problem. Jago, what is up? You said nobody has ever had the audacity to impersonate the Black Panther Party until now. That's facts. Sham was like, what you about to finish eat? I'm about to fix some pasta. I'm about to fix some spaghetti and garlic bread that I got directly in there. That's pretty much what I've been eating at the moment. Because if it wasn't garlic bread, I'd probably just make, some cornbread and, just end up doing it like that. Sham said my throat hurts a lot. So no greasy foods and no tomatoes for me today. Oh yeah, acid reflux, yeah, the spices stuff, yeah. Usually I would say for sore throats normally. Well, for me, I would just go for like heartier breads in a sense. So this is when I would normally, even though I know you're not doing a pizza, for me, I would normally have a pizza because the crust is a little bit harder. And depending on where I get the pizza from, if it's a mom and pop shop, the garlic bread is actual bread with, garlic butter that they spread directly on there. So you got a 2-for-1 benefit. Because it hurts initially, especially if you got a sore throat and you're eating, tougher breads, but then your body gets used to it. So then the normal pain that you would feel from like the sore throat, it's bearable, in a sense. And then you also have the garlic, and things of that nature. I think, was it garlic? You also got oregano and stuff that help with certain things. My memory is completely shot right now. I would normally be able to tell you guys what's pretty good for sore throats that people got directly in their cabinets. But Mine is kind of shot at this moment. Tibby said, "Do a cooking vlog." One day, Tippy. One day I'll do that. One day. Song said, "Big ups, yourselves, family, and let no one impose their lies upon you." That is bars. Yo, Chronic, what is up? You said garlic bread sounds fire. It is. I'm about to, put a. Well, for me, I like the more authentic garlic bread. I mean, the one that you can just get directly from out the box. I mean, that's fine. It's cool. I've also tried making my own as well too, where you get the heartier, like the sandwich bread, and then you get your butter together. You got your you can either use minced garlic or however you want to sit up there and do it, and have a little bit of salt and things of that nature, and heat that up in oven. Make your own garlic bread, mixture and stuff of that nature. Because of the salt that I was using, and I didn't really have something to crush the salt. It was a tad bit too salty, but I had to eat it because I'm like, I don't like to waste stuff, especially if I cooked it. I don't really like to throw away food, so I set up to eat it. I just made sure to drink a lot of water. Um, Shades said that garlic knots are soft. Yeah, garlic knots are soft. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Boiling water. Chronic said lemon and tea for sore throats. True. Sham said garlic is good for sore throats. Yep. Sham said don't boil water. Let it sit in the sun. Oh yeah, you could do it that way. I mean, there's other ways to boil water too. Yeah, if it's during the day, that's true. Sham said just a day, then you can water with it. You said the sun will heat it up enough to take care of it without killing the marrows. That's true. Song said get some lemon and natural honey for the sore throat. D Love said I never thought about that. Oh, you talking about Sammy? Yours truly said ginger, lemon, and honey. Yeah, that's true. Honey does work. That's a nice coating agent. I think what is it? Anti-inflammatory. I think along with a few other things. Antibacterial as well too. So yeah. Because mom all the time always saying like, yo, whenever you say, just make sure to take a tablespoon of honey. I think once or twice a day, stuff like that. Tippy says Sham needs cough drops, Halls with lemon, honey, menthol. Oh yeah, menthol be working. Let me tell you that menthol, it feels like it can be 80 degrees outside. You take something with like menthol, it feels the air. It almost feels Arctic. Like it's wild. It's wild. Yo, what's up, Will Davis? What's up? You said Texas toast? Yeah, that's what I got directly in the fridge. Pink said I'm about to make some ramen with chicken and dumplings. That sounds pretty good. Yeah. Hot soups, that'll be another good one as well, too, Sham. That man crazy. 30. No, we're talking about Sham because she's been under the weather for a minute, so trying to give some good advice, things of that nature. Oh, we got a troll directly in here to the shadow realm with thee. Out of here. Chronic said dumplings sound good. Yep. Sham said, yeah, I need some anti-inflammatory. I was thinking about doing curry, but the spices is too much to handle. I mean, technically, curry would be pretty good. It'll burn a lot of things. Let me tell you, curry. I mean, it depends on the level that you go directly for. If you're going for like level 3 or 4 curry, yeah, it's over. You'll burn whatever sickness out, and then you'll be burning up on the toilet. It's all bad. But if you go for a level 1, level 2, then it's different. Level 1, level 2 is it's all good. We got Sham Burger. What is up? You said cayenne pepper for sore throat. Ooh, I can already feel the burn on that one. Ooh, boy, that's like level 5 dragon right there. I can feel it. Let me see. Third was like, nah, Sham. I thought it was Seji. Timmy said, I'm a good nurse. I'm trying to help the poor girl virtually. LOL. Sham said, LOL. D Love said, Seijihito said, you're out. Yeah, had to get that the other troll directly up out of here. Dude just started coming in talking crazy. I'm like, ain't nobody even talking about nothing right now. Talking about pretty much health, but you know, it's crazy. It's diabolical. Tibby said, I'm a hood nurse. I'm trying to help the poor girl virtually. Sham said, oh no, trying to make my throat out the rest of the day. Yeah. Oh, you talking about the cayenne? Yeah. That'll do some work. Oh, wait. Schamberger said it's not going to burn. Oh, it's not? Why is it that when I think about cayenne pepper, I think about heat? I mean, usually cayenne is heat though, right? I just feel like something is going to be like just hearing it. It's like something's going to be burning. something's going to be burning. Chronic said cream of potato soup. Okay. D Love up here laughing. Song said curry is my winter food and cleansing meal. Yeah, curry will do it. Curry will get you. For me, I like chicken tiki masala. That's my favorite. That is my favorite. Will Davis said chicken noodle soup with a soda. This man took it to the this man took it back to the 2000s. Oh man. Original Goddess. What is up? You said cayenne pepper, turmeric, pepper, and cinnamon. Okay. I mean, that sounds like that would probably be like a tea or something like that. Like you would probably throw that directly in some water and then you'll probably strain it or something like that. You said MB black peppers and don't forget the cloves. Okay. Manuka honey. I remember that from Whole Foods. I remember first running into Manuka honey. And I think that's the one that has the I think the bee venom directly in it or something like that. Like I said, it has a lot of different if I remember correctly, y'all can correct me if I may be incorrect because it's been a while. But I can't get my words right. Lord, I need food. I do remember when I had to stock that I was trying to figure out why it was so high. I think it was like 40, at least at the time. I think it was probably like $30 to $60. And I think we had like two different sizes. One was like a medium, and then the other one was a large. And they explained it to me, why it was actually so high. And that was that honey you don't actually see in a lot of other stores. You see it in certain stores. Shauna said the Black experience. That's what I always say. The Black experience. Bars. Song said, yes, sir. Original Goddess said, open up the lungs is not going to burn. Okay. All right. I got you. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try to keep all of it. I mean, even though I do have a book directly dealing with a lot of herbalistic type of things. Maybe one day I'll go over that. If it doesn't cause problems on YouTube, I might actually go directly over that. But yeah, I'm gonna keep a mental note. I'm gonna do my best. Sham said, I love curry, but I cook with it a lot, with a lot of spices, cayenne, turmeric, cardamom, cumin, ginger, garlic, cinnamon, and coca. Song said, yep, it is a tea referring back to what God has stated. Chronic said tomato soup with the grilled cheese. Oh yeah, that's classic. That I make that without even being sick. When was the last time I did that? I think it's crazy. I got to say it like this. Last year, about November or December, had about a nice stack of grilled cheese. I had about about 45 grilled cheese, and then I had my nice little bowl of tomato soup. It was great. It was great. Just you only got it, like I said, you don't even have to eat it with a spoon. You can just dip the grilled cheese in there and eat, dip and eat, dip and eat. You good. Solid. So it's a very homey, comfortable type of meal. D Love said, but if you're taking it for allergies, honey should be local. Gotcha. Sham said the doctor banned me from any carbonated drinks. They make the throat damage worse. Oh, they. Oh, I mean, it was different for me though. Let me tell you, the moment in time. Let me tell you, if you really want to feel something, you would have to have like a fresh Sprite or Coke. Oh, it's over. It's over. You have one of those. Matter of fact, those from Detroit, from Michigan, Fago. If you have a red Fago, or I think what is it like lemon lime Fago? It's been so long since I've had Fago. But they also had a not the cream, yeah, cream soda. That's another one too. The cream soda, or if you have a red one, oh, it's over. You thought you felt pain, oh boy, it is over. And do not have those, and you having hot food. It's going to make it 1,000 times worse. It is crazy. Sham said I was close on blood, so they want me to be careful. Okay, I got you. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, you can't take that risk. Um, Original Goddess said, "Yeah, I put that in my tea, and yes, MGO 100." Tippy said, "Maybe get a eucalyptus candle, eucalyptus bath salts, and relax." Yeah, eucalyptus is very calming. I can tell you that. It has a very calming type of feel to it. D Love says, "Sham, it sounds like you got acid reflux on top of that." Yeah. Chronic said, "I like medium spices with full flavor." Shauna said, "Wait, who like you? They don't know any better." Wait, I'm lost. I'm lost. That Shauna. I'm lost. Tippy said, she hates acid reflux. Yeah, yeah. D Love said, "Not a stack." Said Jahito. Sham said, "That's not all of my dry spices. The wet spices have a different list for my curry. I like my curry a bit spicy." Uh, so how am I greedy because of what I have? A nice stack of sandwiches. That's not greedy. Having five grilled cheese. You know how thin a grilled cheese is. Now this is the thing. If you had like, let's say like some Texas toast, or like some very thick toast or something like that, then that's different. Yeah, I probably all right. I'll probably do about three, right? Because there's going to be a lot of cheese in there, and that's a lot of bread and stuff. It's a little bit different. But you dealing with, let's say, like some Wonder Bread or something like that, and you got some craft cheese, or something like, yeah, you gotta do a little bit different. And especially, like I said before, fast metabolism. You gotta keep pace. Yo, Marty, what is up? What is up? What is up? Will Davis said, "I wonder what a honey pack and tea would do." LOL, this man. Yo, Power, what is up? You said Detroit here. Much love, respect, and appreciation. 313. Detroit versus everybody. We out here. Original Goddess said, and yes, I forgot to say ginger and thank you. Gotcha. Original said club soda. Yeah. That's highly carbonated. That'll do some damage. Let me tell you, that'll do some damage right there. Tippy said, "Try drinking ginger ale with some lemon juice. The doctors don't know what she's talking about." LOL. D Love said, "Let me see your device, Will Davis." Yeah, that's crazy. Chronic said, "People I knew in Mexico are big on those Fagos." Yo, Fago is beautiful. Let me tell you. Like I said, born and raised in Detroit. That is all I knew. I wasn't out there. I was like, rare times I might happen to have like, Pepsi or something like that. But it don't matter what meal I would have. I'm always having, Fago. Now, unless you get some fast food, let's say some McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, something like that, then it's different. For whatever reason, Fago is not guaranteed in those businesses, which is stupid because I feel as though that local drinks should be there. Or some people will, again, from Detroit, we do say pop, right? Some people say soda, some people say pop, some people say soda pop, or some people just generally call it, just Coke, stuff like that. So, it'd be like that. Original Goddess said, "Great combo." Yeah, it happens. Sometimes we will deviate from all the other topics, and then we're just, flying through the motions, at the moment. Third said, "Would you drink Sunny D with a sore throat for $1,000,000?" I mean, I've done that before. Because for me, I try to irritate it more so that the pain that I originally felt is not really nothing. Like I said, I will go through a variety of things to to try to subdue the pain. Like I said, I tried a lot of stuff. Sham said, yeah, the infection spread to my throat and they put me on a large amount of steroids, which caused me to have GERD. Then I was coughing up blood. So yeah, I got a long ban list on stuff. Dang. That is tough. That is tough. But yeah, like I told you, Sham, you gonna be all right. You gonna sit up there and be right back to the healthiness of cussing people directly out and to cussing out games whenever they make you mad. You're gonna be right back there. You know, you gotta just take it slow for a minute. Tippy says 0 sugar, ginger ale, and not the regular one. Original Goddess said ginger ale, be more. Oh yeah. That's another one too. Ginger ale's a good one. What was the one that we would normally get in my house? Wasn't it like Verner's or something like that? I forgot. It should have been. Now I gotta actually look this up because it's been so long. Yeah, that's the one that was a classic that I would always see. Yep, Verner's ginger ale. Yep. Yo, that's crazy. That was made in Detroit. They said Verner's ginger ale is America's oldest ginger ale, created in Detroit. Wow, I didn't even know that. Yo, that's wild. Invented by James Verner in Detroit, Michigan, with the recipe developed after he left a syrup based to age in an oak was it cask while he served in the Civil War, finding it deliciously different upon his return. Didn't know that. But yeah, Verner's if you ever again, if you specifically if you're from Detroit, anytime you might have had like something wrong with your stomach, hey, you need somebody to go to Rite Aid, go to the CVS and go get some Verner's at the corner store real quick. Get like a a nice thing of Verner's and you good. You are good. D Love said, nope, enjoy yourself and have as many grilled cheeses as you want. Sham said, I got banned from juices too right now, unless it is apple juice. Gotcha. Original Goddess said, I'm taking notes as well. D Love said, let's go flat, maybe. Original said elderberry and eucalyptus in my Epsom salts for my baths. Yeah, that stuff smells great. Let me tell you. Also, having that as a candle too smells pretty good too. For those who make candles, or also body butters. Tippy said, Seji, look up sham symptoms and home remedies. Tippy said, stop talking about foods you can't eat. Oh my goodness. Schamberger said Bomb Pop and Fago's Smack bars, straight bars. Chronic said I wouldn't mind trying a Fago, never had one. It's pretty good. You should be able to actually order them online. Or at least I think on Amazon. Let me just check something real. I know that Tippy gonna say something real quick. He was like, "You're still talking about stuff that Sham can't have." It's not on purpose. It's not on purpose. Let me see, Fago. Yeah, they got Fagos up there. They got a variety of oh man, I have Moon Mist was my favorite when it first came out. What? Rock and Rye. Yep. Whenever I some Happy's Pizza, whenever I knew that I was ordering some Happy's Pizza, and again, you got to be from Detroit. Order Happy's Pizza. I'm automatically I think they might have had Fago. I think if I remember correctly, they may have had orange Fago there, but if they didn't, I would either ask my folks, hey, if you're coming this way, can you get some 2-liter Fagos, or I would just hurry up and try to run to the store real quick and do that. But yeah, they got some Fagos up there. They got the fireworks Fago. Cotton candy is actually pretty good. I remember peach, black cherry. That's another one. Cream soda, root beer, grape. Yep. Yeah, they got a lot of those. Oh yeah, 60-40. That's a light one. That's light. The thing that would always get me with Fago is that they would have a lot of not colors. They would have a lot of flavors, but they would be diet. I'm like, why would y'all do that? I'm like, I got a lot of these nice flavors out there, but I can't try them because I don't like diet Fago. Like I don't do that. But yeah. Original guy said, don't forget ginger root beer. That's facts. That's facts. Sham said, yep, I can't wait to get my Elmo voice back. Oh man, I think people actually heard you before on here. I think one time. I think Sham had pulled up to the stream and Sham was going in. Let me tell you something. Sham was going directly in. Lunch said, yo, Lunch was up. Lunch said, Sham, I hope you get better. D Love says, Seji, not back to cussing. I thought you were going to say something else. I didn't cuss though. Wait, did I? My bad. my apologies. My apologies. Root Power said, yep. Sham said, let me not say that. Jesus might be like, see, that's why I took your voice in the first place. To be said, he sounds black. Chronic says Civil War drink is crazy. Hey, yo, let me tell you, Vernors is good though. Whenever there was anything, if you had an unsettled stomach, like let's say if you had a cold or the flu or something like that, you were nauseated, Vernors would settle you right down. I kid you not. I swear to goodness, it would settle you right down. No lie. Yo, Mo said butterfly PT. You know what? I never heard of that. I gotta look into that. Because I do like, teas in a sense. I'm more so like, peach or jasmine and stuff like that. They come in like the tin cans because they're a lot fresher and things of that nature. But yeah, I'll check into that. Tibby said a black man invented ginger ale. Was he black? I am not sure. Let me see some. Let me try to. No, that's a white dude. Now maybe he could potentially be biracial, but I don't see nothing. But that's an old school white dude, born back in April 11th, 1843, in Albany, New York, and he later died in 1929. I'm sorry, he died October 29th of 1927 in Grosse Isle Township, Michigan. So, you know. But like I said, I learned something new. Didn't know that was made here in the D. Did not know. Let me see. Noters said deport the tethers from our father/motherland bars. F.B.A. Kush, what is up? What is up? You said who got a problem with me? This man. D Love said be careful with the red 40 in it and other foods. No, that's true. That's bars. That's 100%. Power said I just had Happy's Pizza. Yo, I ain't have Happy's Pizza in a minute. I used to order that a lot. Let me tell you something, especially during the whole times of, let's say, the timelines of Cartoon Network, Rising Sun, Toonami, Adult Swim, stuff like that. During that era, it was Happy's Pizza. If you couldn't get a hold and you didn't feel like dealing with Little Caesars because it was like, it was just too much going on there and it was just too busy, and you didn't feel like dealing with Pizza Hut because that was too far, and you didn't feel like dealing with I forgot who was it. I think we also had like Jerry's. I think it should have been like Jerry's Pizza as well too. Yeah, Jerry's was another one too. What was it? We got Happy's, we got Jerry's Pizza, we got Famous Pizza. Well, when Famous Pizza was there. And technically, I just want to put Little Caesars up there because that's pretty much a staple. Like in a lot of hoods in Detroit, you can always find a Little Caesars. Like that bad boy is a staple. Like I said, the hot and ready is no joke. Get a hot and ready with some crazy bread. Oh, it's over. It's over. That's all you need. And now, if you want to spice it up, you can get a hot and ready, and then you can get sort of kind of like the deep dish cheese bread that got the Italian sausage directly on there and stuff like that. Like I said, it's ways to save money and to make sure that it'll hold you over. Tibby says, Seji, I'm trying to help the poor girl get better, and y'all talking and y'all not helping. LOL. Don't mind them, Sham. What you talking about? We got people directly in the chat right now. Also, these conversations are actually beneficial for Sham's frame of mind. So that way, laughing might hurt. So my apologies. But we're talking about positive stuff. So, hey. Tippy said try Pedialyte, ice pops. Tippy likes those. D Love said nope. When you said Sham 24, get back to cussing. LOL. Oh yeah, no, Sham be cussing people out. That's what people don't know. Don't be getting fooled by the light voice. Sham will cuss somebody smooth, smooth out. Oh my goodness, it is hilarious when Sham be cussing people out. It is hilarious. Let me tell you. Sham was like, LOL, I think I better behave and not curse. Otherwise, my voice is going to be stuck. Then again, my temper is terrible in video games. Yeah, Sham be going off. Especially on games, she be going off. Original Goddess said, better health Shammy. Power said, yep. In fact, Sham said, I can make those pops. They do feel better. I think it makes some homemade chicken soups with garlic, ginger, and whatnot today. That sounds about good. That sounds pretty good. Let me see. We got another troll directly here. Gotcha. No problem. Get banned. Next person. Sham said, oh no. Rudy said Jets. Tippy said, I think Sham needs a cup of hot tea and a splash of whiskey. You drink, Tippy? What you know about whiskey? I don't even drink. What you know about drinking, Tippy? What's going on? I didn't even know you drink, Tippy. That's crazy. Learn something new. This woman talking about whiskey. Talking about now she's a barista. Well, no, baristas that do coffee. Now Tippy's a bartender. That's what I was thinking of. That's some crazy work. It's another light voice person directly out here talking about some. That's a strong drink that puts hair on a lot of men's chest right there. What was that? Money said, "What is up, yo? What is up? What is up?" Mo said the butterfly pea flower scientific name is. That's crazy. Clitora. Clitora tea. It looks like that from the numerous health properties. That's crazy. Sham, oh no, it was Burger speaking to Sham. Sham said, LOL, no alcohol. I'm banned from that and it burns too much. D Love said that sounds good as Sham. Wait, I'm highly confused. Wait. You said Seji, are you Nojin mix or just name? Wait, now I gotta look that up. I don't even know what that is. Wait, Nojin? Nani? Let me see. Nojin mix? I tried to even look that up. I ain't get nothing. I can't get no hits on that. Is that a brand new terminology? I don't even know what that means. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't even know what Nojin is. I'm just gonna be real. I have no clue. Let me see. It says the origin and meaning of Nojin last name. The name may derive from a term meaning to endure or to persist, reflecting the resilience and adaptability of those who. Oh no, this is a classic name. Well, if you're talking about like the name, this is something I made all the way back in high school. And then out of the multitude of names that I made, that was to me the name that stuck directly out. So that's the name I've used for a very long time, very very long time. Let me see. D Love says, Seji, I need a bat because you be blocking trolls. So yeah, it's a work in progress. It is a work in progress. Now technically for me, it might be a little bit different because again, my mods might have saw him before I did, but I blocked him on my end. So, Shem said, thanks for everybody for the well wishes. I'm trying also to thank people. Oh, I'm trying, and also I think people make me mad in games on purpose so they can hear me cuss out people in my Elmo voice. It's hilarious. Because it's like, because the thing about it, the reason why it's funny is that when you hear Sham, and then but it's a difference though. You got normal Sham, and then you got Super Saiyan Sham, and that's like when Sham actually like gets mad, and then that voice just like disappears for like a brief second. It is like you can tell the difference. But then you also have, normal Sham, and then when she gets hyped on video games and stuff, it goes beyond. Like I said, it's funny. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. What was it? Tippy said, I heard it helps with the flu, among other things. Money said Minion, and yo, you got me on that. Hey, let me tell you, I'm just a simple black dude. Now, if you would have called me back in the time when I was doing Japanese class, I would have been able to get with you. I would have, been able to go back and forth just a little bit, just enough, to carry a conversation in Japanese. Now that was a another version of me long, long ago, eons, eons and eons ago. You said it's Japanese slang. Yeah. I'm not even gonna try to butcher what you typed. Let me tell you something. Not even gonna do it because I can feel it's like I want to attempt, but I know I'm gonna butcher it. But yeah, shout out to Money. Shout out to Money. Original guy that said, "Yep, a hot toddy and a granddaddy." Yeah, I heard of those two. Yeah. Money said it's a Japanese name. Okay, I got you. Sham said, "You mean a hot toddy?" LOL. I hope that's what you meant to type that. Oh yeah, I think it was like a little bit of a typo that she had up there. But yeah, that's what you meant. Tippy said, "When I'm feeling bad and do home remedies, I want it to work instantly, but unfortunately, you have to be consistent with it. That's all you gotta. We already talked about this before, Tippy. You just gotta work on consistency. It's it's a little bit of a uphill battle, but once you do it, every single day, you're good. You solid. Anything is possible." Mo up here laughing in the comment section. Money said you spelled it correct to Japanese spelling is Seiji-san. Okay, I got you. I got you. Much respect. D Love laughing at Sham. And this man, talking about originals spelling for hot toddy sounds delicious. This man out here can't take me nowhere. Money said, I want hot tea with brandy. Brandy is that it's not really strong technically. It's subtle. And the only reason I even technically know this because I, the whole thing of alcohol and cheese that they would do, they didn't really burn off enough of the alcohol technically. So it was like, yeah. Sham said, it gets higher when I'm hyped. Yep. Shauna said many moons ago. Yeah, that's what I was going for. Sham was like, Sham said, hot toddy is sounds uncomfortable, but you got to spell it differently. But yeah. Money said it's okay and want a hot toddy. Yeah, you got to be sick for that one though. I mean, I guess unless people just want to drink a warm drink. Original said yes. My apologies on the typo. Yeah, I saw the typo and I was like, yeah, she didn't mean to type that. I was like, yeah. I knew what happened. Maria said, ginger tea. Yo, we got Sunny in the building. Said, hot toddies and brandy tastes like grandpa kisses. Wait, what? I'll be saying wild stuff here. That is wild. I ain't never in my life. I don't even know where to go with that one. I swear to goodness. I don't even know where to go with that one. Yo, that just completely threw me off. Completely threw me off. Like, that is wild. D Love up here laughing in the comment section. Yeah, that completely threw me off. I was like, huh? Oh, that's crazy. But yeah. Much love. Yeah, I didn't have y'all up here for two. Well, actually, technically, I did. We were having a conversation. D Love said, Grandpa kisses. Hold up, I'm calling CPS. Sham said, I know I've been too sick because my animals out here will not leave me alone. They've been next to me this whole time trying to heal me with purrs. Oh yeah, I heard about that too. Different videos when it deals with cats because they purr at a certain type of vibration and what's the name? And it supposedly has healing properties directly to it. I remember I sat up, I was asleep directly under the covers, and both of my cats were just on me. Like one, what was it? What was it? Where was May? I think Mickey was laying on, I think, either my waist or my stomach, and no. Mickey was laying directly across, I think, my chest, and then my other cat, May, I think she was laying like near my stomach and my waist. And I'm just sitting up there, I'm like, what are y'all doing? I'm like, why do I feel this weight directly on me? I'm like, who told y'all? It's like, who told y'all to just fall asleep like this? Like, how dare y'all do this? But yeah, cats are funny. Cats are funny though. Originally said because some of our grandpas used to drink the granddaddy. D Love said, I was laughing at what you were saying, and that threw me off too. Said you, yeah, that threw. I swear to you, Sonny be saying some stuff sometimes. I'm like, yo, what you mean by that? Sham said, yeah, they've been doing this to me the whole time, especially Mickey. Mickey will go get my mom, and she'll come look after you. That's dope. That is pretty dope. My cat Mickey just normally cries, even no matter how much attention he gets. He just like trying. Well, realistically, he just wants to lay on somebody and go to sleep. When he can do that, he's fine. He don't have no care in the world. He ain't even trying to do that. He'll just be as lazy as can be. He'll just sit up there and sleep for 8 hours. Now, May, I mean, technically, May, she'll do the same thing too. If you let her just go to sleep with you, she'll just be there. Like when you move is probably when she'll move. Like I said, they're funny. They're very funny, very funny. But yeah. But yep, that was a pretty dope conversation. We were going for about a good what feel like 20, maybe like 30 some minutes from the time of 2 something that we were talking, and I was supposed to like end it, but we got into the nice handy dandy health conversations. Something that we rarely do here. Rarely do. Was it Sham said Mickey is like 25 pounds and huge. I can't let him sleep on me. He's too heavy. Oh yeah, that's because you got those larger cats though. Way larger cats. Money said the video of the cats when they play Egyptian music is wild. How the cats act. Yeah, I might try that with my cats and see what happens. I'm pretty sure that they're not going to actually have a reaction to it because they're weird like that sometimes. But yeah, this man Mo. This is why I got to pre-read comments before I read them. I've learned great lessons. I've learned great lessons from the past. Shauna said, LOL. Yeah, because this man Mo be talking crazy. Let me tell you. It be your own people. Be your own people trying to set you up. Trying to set you up. D Love said, thank you and enjoy your spaghetti and garlic bread. You know what? I actually forgot about that for a brief second because I started talking about other food. But yeah, I gotta go out there and cook my food. So yeah, everybody go relax, go catch up on some television episodes, some movies, some anime, go play some games, order some food, go fix you some food and go relax and enjoy the rest of your evening. And again, thank you guys for coming directly through and just chilling and taking part in the conversation. And I will see you guys in the next video and or live stream. Peace out.